And welcome to the Bob and Sam Show, Teen Nation. So, all by myself tonight. How about that? You think that's going to be okay? Got to turn down one of my phones. There we go. Now we got it. You done? Well, what we were doing was we were waiting for a guy to come buy some of our helmets for the ATVs. He's want the helmets. So somebody said they were interested in one. We told them to come over here around 3:30. They came over. They haven't come yet, so out of luck. So Bob went out to lock the gates. Know that we're not here. We are here, but we're can't get to us right now. We're busy. We're talking to all of you guys. So it has been very nice out here. The weather has been perfect. Got a lot of stuff done today. We're all ready to head out to Arizona Bike Week. We're leaving on Tuesday the 1st. Be out there through the 7th. Coming to Arizona Bike Week, let us know. Try our best to meet up with you. Why that? I tried to offer that before. Got our. I don't want our. I want to see the comments. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I thought I tried to get rid of that earlier. Janice is already on. Michael Adams is on, and right. Hello, it's on. What's on? How about that? Hi, Clint. Jeff's on. Tall Jeff. How are you doing? Fun. We're just waiting for him to finish whatever he's doing. I guess he's putting stuff on Facebook so everybody can see it. Neil made it. How about that, Neil? Here in spirit only. I've loaded and unloaded another truck load. Green crap is for the birds. I agree. We don't really like moving stuff. It's a pain. I think he's trying to get the garage out there. He's going to show you the garage. Working. Jones is on. Hi, Skippy. Everybody hi to Neil. So I've got the trailer partially packed up. I still got to put the food and stuff in there. I'm cooking yet take with us. So if we need to, we can eat there in the trailer. Try to save a little bit of money. So put up. So what we're gonna talk of.
Oh, there you go.
Camera around.
You got to quit talking. Are you going to make me echo? Let's go. Check. Go ahead and
Hit the microphone.
yes, on yours.
I did it.
Well, they shouldn't hear this. All right, so we're walking around the shop here. Just going to go show you a little layout. The trailer's gone. Look at all that room I've got now. So let us know if it's echoing. If anybody's interested in a golf cart, looks like we might be selling the Bob and Tam's golf cart. So leave all the printing on it for everybody. Just with us flying now, I don't know if there's really a need for us to have the golf cart anymore. There's all the storage I put in last year, or this year, I guess. And there's a chopper. Move around. We did get a new refrigerator. The old one crapped out. We had to switch it out. This is my miscellaneous side of stuff I don't normally use, other than the pressure washer, paint, shop vac, hose, all that good stuff. Here's the wiring. One of these days, I'm going to get all the wiring done up above because we have no lighting other than sunlight. So there's an evaporator cooler. We call those swamp coolers. A tool cart. There's Tam's bike. It's all ready to go. I got to get it over there. I thought I was going to do it today, but I guess we'll take it over to the house tomorrow. I already took the veteran bike over. It's gone. So I have two toolboxes. I have one that's a tool cart. Just depending on if I ended up, we're trying to get an above ground lift to sit right there. And if we did, then I was going to put that one over there. And then I've got my big toolbox here. I have a little compressor. There's a tire off of a NASCAR that won 3 years ago, won the race. We got the tire off of it. There's my big welder, my arc welder. My battery charger, I have had that since I've had my gas station back in 1980. Still chugging along. Chop saw, parts washer. I moved my workbench over here. And I'm out of my vise and my grinder. Actually, I had to use the grinder the other day. I think I used the vise too when I cut that bolt off. Hung up my heated seat. That's just some wall art. I didn't know that on the V-rods. I think it was the V-rods. The cover came off. It wasn't, I don't know how that all worked. It's just a cover, not a tank. Didn't know. So there you go. Tam's inside there. So let me.
Right? Off. Oh, oh, I guess they can't hear him now. So that's normally where we set up at over there. He decided he wanted to give you a different point of view. And we're over here up against this wall. There you go. How about that? If that comes over, they can. Hi to each other. Commercials already. Daniel's on. Glad you're doing good, Daniel. So also Daryl Dust is on. Art's on. Mike's on. Mike had snow today. Snow flurries up in Minnesota. That tire he was telling you about that he got from the Daytona 500. So what's our first rally we do every year is Daytona 500, right? That was in the trailer, and I had to move that thing around the whole trip that year, probably 2 or 3 years ago.
$5 or $10.
$5. And he came out and asked, get this tire for $5. All right. I'm like, I guess. All right. I thought he was going to put it in the back of the truck. No, it went in the trailer. Move that thing every time I turned around. If it was on that side of the trailer, I needed it on that side. So I had to move it to this side. If it was inside the trailer, I had to move it outside. Couldn't let it stay outside because somebody might steal it. So then I had to bring it back inside. So yeah, that tire was a pain in my behind, and if somebody would have came up and offered to take it, I'd have let him. I would have. So Big Ben's on. He make sure everybody gives these a thumbs up. Go. Joan says hi to Art, and Big Ben says Bating, Florida. The Bating when we first came on. Yeah, I even had a little bit of music for you guys there. Figured out how to. So Big Ben wrote me a thing and publicly announced yet. It looked like their flyer was on it, but he's the one that drives the truck that brings all the stuff for bare knuckle fighting. Get the chip. Gonna be out there this year. Last year, unfortunately, his daughter had some medical issues. So he didn't get to come, which we thought he was going to, but should be there this year.
That'll be the rally.
What's the second? Was last year. Well,
Is it
I
the
can
first
show
weekend or
you.
the
I
last
can
weekend?
show you the little flyer. Oh, there's Ryder X.
So, what are we going to talk about tonight? A little bit of Arizona bike. Didn't started on and Saturday. Actually, there was art. It is very low key. Cave Creek, if you've never been there. So not a very big strip. Really only two main bars there. Been a while since we've been back there. Cave Creek is kind of its own. I want to say it's kind of like Bang Blow, but not those kind of. But that kind
Mike's
of.
Bob's cutting out. Probably coming through over.
Check. Check.
Daytona Dave.
Not gonna go over. Yes, now it's on. Check in 1, 2, 3. Hey, I'm still back. Back. Check
Put 'em
1, 2.
to all.
Check.
I see your lips moving, but Bob's audio's not on.
There you go. It's on now. So what we were saying was talking a little bit about Cave Creek. It actually opened up last Friday, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. I don't know if you counted Sunday, Saturday, Friday, 3 days ago for me. Cave Creek is just a little different. It's very small. You could probably, if you're a very good thrower of a baseball, you could probably throw it from one end of the street to the other end of the street. There's only a very small section there that actually probably I'm not even sure if it's as long as Main Street in Sturgis, even that long, where the bars and all that are at. It's very small. There's really only two main bars, which are actually owned by the same people who own both bars.
A hideout in the house.
Yep. So that there, it's kind of cool. It's more of a party type of night. They do have bike shows, which we didn't have when she did the video the other day. We couldn't find anything. It came up after I edited it. It came up, so it's too late. So we put that on our Bob and Tam's Facebook page. You guys can always go there. We only got like 3,000 people go to that page. That we always put all the flyers up there and everything for all the rallies. Even if it's a rally we're not going to, I still put a flyer up for that. So if I find it or if I see about it. So it's a good place to go if you're looking for some resources that we're not there, or if it's something we haven't caught up with yet. So
Got a rear flat tire.
And so that's kind of Cape Creek. Cycle Drag's already been down there. I think he showed up. I don't know if he's ever been there before or not. He seems like he's another one that kind of seems like every time I turn around, he's in the same place. My microphone screwdriver and tighten that up. It's limp. It's flippy floppy. So he's already there. It sounds like Pawamoto. He told me he's coming. If he's coming, so I would think awesome documentary and what's
documentaries.
What's the other one?
Prime Cut Pro.
Prime Cut Pro. Those guys should be there. I don't know when they're showing up. It's the actual rally that's going on at
Arizona,
No.
Westworld.
Doesn't start till Wednesday. Most of the other events at the dealerships, things like that, aren't starting till Friday and Saturday. So there is a stunt area that there's going to be. Somebody had wrote me and told me about it. It was called Mayhem something over in Mesa. We're not going to cover that. It's an all-day event. Somebody, actually, one of our subscribers sent me an email on it and told me, or maybe it was in the chat, I guess, and told me about it. And I went and looked it up, which is crazy because it's $35 if you want to go to it. If you want to ride your bike and park inside the area that they're having it costs you $50 plus your rider's $35 for the whole day. Well, for media passes, they want $50 a person for that. So it's like, no, nothing's worth $100 for me to sit there. And then when I wrote back to him a couple of times, he wrote back and said they went last year and it got boring after a while. How long are you going to watch stunts? And I think a lot of it is people, you can come off the street and you can do stuff. And like I say, we're probably, unless they call me and say, hey, you guys can come on in, we'll cover it for a little while. We're not going to be there. We'll cover some of the dealerships. Tuesday, we're meeting with one of the promoters of the Westworld. and sit down with them, and they're going to take us an escorted tour of all of the ground before everybody's there. All the trucks should be there. Speeds showed up there today. They pulled in. Joey and them from All About Customs should be there Monday, I think is what he was predicting. He'd be there tomorrow, all getting all set up. So most of that Rick Rack's on the way. They're going to be there, which we didn't know that the other day. There came up on their Facebook page. Thought I asked them and they didn't say they were. AP Cycles is going to be there. So we got a couple big trucks there. They're just concerts. We already talked about that on TAMS. You can go back and look at all that. Talked about all the different concerts they have. They're different to where you can buy a concert ticket and it's good for all day. But if you go in and just buy a day pass, you got to get out by, I think, 6 o'clock or something. They chase you out. But what they've done, which since we've been there in 2021, they've added a bunch of bars outside now. So I don't know what the story is there. But I mean, one of the bars looks like it's right next to it, and they got bands playing there at night. So not quite sure what's all going on there. But on Tuesday, we'll find it all out.
Nicole.
We're planning on taking the computer. We're going to drive the truck over there on Tuesday just to go through. Hopefully send my drone up, get some shots of everything beforehand. And we'll do a quick video Tuesday night, hopefully. I'll get it edited and get it up. So if some of you that are watching from far away, East Coast, things like that, you may not see it till the next morning. It's more for people that are coming to Arizona Bike Week to show them where everything's at and where the vendors are at and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where the concert, just kind of give you a layout of the land. And they've got a bunch of different gates because depending on what you want to do, you got to come in a certain gate. So we'll get all that straightened out on Tuesday, and we'll have a video for you guys on Tuesday night. Like I say, it may be later. I just don't know. We're supposed to meet with her at 3. Hopefully in 30 minutes to an hour. By 4, be done. It's going to take me at least an hour to edit it. It's 5. So if we got it back up and out by 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 9 o'clock, which might be on the East Coast. You might be able to still be watching it then at 9. So that's kind of the lay of what we're planning on doing, but that's just saying I can find good internet and all this other good stuff. We're hoping when we talk to her that they've got a place that I can hook up to internet and we can just bang it out really quick. See how that's some of the excitement going on. A lot of you are going. Some of you I've asked, but you haven't wrote back and said what days you're arriving. So that makes a difference to us. You can always email us at thebobandtams@yahoo.com. And you can ask for our phone number, and we'll give you a phone number that you can contact us on. And then we can text back and forth and let you know where we're at. Most evenings, once I get done with my video of my editing, we'll have
Up in Cape Creek.
yeah,
area.
because it's close to where we're at. So we'll be hanging out there. We're probably, the thought is right now we're not planning on doing any of the big concerts. One, we can't film any of that. I wouldn't mind going to see Jesse from Jackal, but I mean, usually he's so busy before the show, he doesn't want to talk anyway. So it's not going to get me a ground way with him. So probably just won't do any of it. But we'll probably be in Cave Creek. We're not going to stay up late because we got to get up again early the next morning and start all over. We want to do a few rides. We haven't figured out exactly for sure what rides we're going to do. We're not doing any of the rides that they've got sponsored. I want to go out and explore stuff on my own. There's a few cool places we've been to. Back in, what do you think the first year we went? When Art went?
It was 2014. That was the year I had my wreck.
So in 2014 was the last time we'd gone and did all the rides. Last time we were there in 2021, it was after the pandemic and stuff, and we really didn't. I
I
think
had it fall that year.
yeah. So we didn't do a lot of, well, it was 2020, I think. Fall of 2020 is when we did it. And so it was what it was. And we didn't do a lot of riding then just because everything was all mask and everything was crazy. And it was just a nightmare. It really wasn't worth going to, but we did. It was okay. This should be a lot better this year. Cycle Drag, when he talked the other day or last night when he was on his live, he says this is the East Coast Daytona Bike Week. I wouldn't even say that. This is not, you can't really put any of these rallies together. This isn't much different than Laconia. It's not much different than a lot of different rallies that you go to, very similar to, but I mean, each one has its own. But I mean, I would never say it's Daytona in the desert because you don't have the water for one. You don't have a beachy theme. Yeah, you got a desert. So that already puts it totally different. You're going to have more of a local theme. We're going to see some people probably coming over from California. But you're only looking at about 300 maybe 400 miles at the most that most people are going to be traveling. So it's not going to be like people coming from Canada. We're probably not going to see any Canadians coming to Arizona unless they're already down here,
Unless they're in Bullhead and go down there.
which
We
we
get
are
a
the
lot of
snowbirds.
snowbirds that come down from there. So we got CVMA, Rick Randolph, that Indra's on. He says it's morning there. Poll's on. It's 84, sunny. It's TC's on, and we'll see you at the Panama City. Jeffy's on, and Jimmy Luff is on. You guys made it to the Steel Horse at the fort.
I think that's another rally that's going on. And where's that at?
Fort.
Seen it pop up today that there was.
Is that going to be in Arizona?
No, that's a rally somewhere. I don't know if it's in Texas. I don't not popped up on my Facebook page. I don't know if I took a picture of it. I think it's happening this weekend too. So I don't think I did anything with it. I just kind of seen it pop up. Let it go with
Seven
that.
Mike's on. How you guys doing? There he is. Ryder X made it.
There he is. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yep. He wrote me and told me his
Yeah.
birthday's coming up. So he's celebrating his 25th birthday. So
Mm.
look, there's a whole
25
bunch
plus.
more on there, and I'm done.
Oh, you got to click
Oh.
on it up there because that's live. That gives us. You've got the delay probably on your phone, or this is live.
No, this is live. Doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do it. South Fort Smith, Arkansas is where that one's at.
There you go. That's right.
So gonna be able.
There's a lot of stuff. We just missed. What was that other bike show that was up in Milwaukee?
Donnie Smith.
I would have loved.
Mike told us about that.
Yeah, I
one.
would have loved to go on that. I actually already knew ahead of time.
Salty Badger.
What's her name from the Buffalo Chip?
Marilyn was.
Marilyn that writes the magazine, does all the bike shows. She had put it on her Facebook page, and when I looked at it,
Around.
I thought that would be really cool to see. But just like us, it's
Fun.
it's very hard to justify a 3 or 4 day rally just for the fact that for the expense for us to get there. You know, we do Arizona Bike Week because we already came home. So it's not gonna cost us that much. We actually had a subscriber this year gave us extra money, sponsorship that he wanted to pay for one of the rallies. We're gonna go to Galveston, and we thought, let's just use it for this. She decided she wanted to pull the trailer. So probably pulling the trailer, the campsite, and everything else we'll do just fine with that. And so that's kind of how we got there. So we just have to justify a lot of this now because we've spent way too much money since we've been doing this. And I've still got a bunch of credit cards, and not a bunch. I got a 3 or 4 I need to get way down yet. And so things are going really good. We got a brand new donation, a really big one. We're not going to say the amount of from Richard.
Not gonna say his last name because we
Yes.
don't know if he wants to
Yeah.
broadcast.
And but he sent us a really big donation so far, so that really almost enough with what I've got in the bank, and we might be able to buy another motorcycle. So that's kind of exciting. So that's kind of cool. We've got to do for Ryder X. He's one of the ones that's on our board for our non-for-profit, which we're thinking about doing because it's just so hard to get everybody because it's got everything from our daughters, one daughter. Everybody's in a different time zone. So to get everybody on, so I think we're going to do a meeting after we get back from.
We're
Arizona
gonna
Bike
send an
Week.
email to
That's what I
everybody too.
We're going to just do a video ahead of time and tell you what we've got because there really isn't any, and we'll just make it private, and then you guys can click on it. You can see what we talk about, the money that we put in the bank, what we got on the motorcycle, how that all worked, and all the stuff is behind the scenes. All the stuff. Right now, we have spent $0 of any money on the non-for-profit. So we already got a motorcycle, and we got some money already in the bank. So it's pretty cool. And most of the expenses right now is being paid by our YouTube channel. It's paying for our
Okay.
monthly phone bill that's being on here. It paid for the corporation fees, our nonprofit fees. All that came out of the money that we made so far. And also from our sponsors that helped us build the channel now this year. So we're doing pretty good. Kind of excited about Arizona Bike Week. It's been a while since we've been there. Like I say, in 2020, she thinks it was 20 because when I watched the video the other day, it came up as 2020, and I was like, I don't remember going 2020. So we must have it was the fall of 2020 after we came back home from Sturgis.
Because it was in the fall that year. So it had to have been, I was going to say October, but it must have been September because we did Stubborn America after we left there. We were going to go, I think, from Sturgis to Stubborn America, but ended up coming all the way back home and doing Arizona Bike Week. Because of COVID, they pushed it to the fall instead of the spring that year. Did that, and I remember we left a day early because a lot going on. So we headed out to MC Sandoval Stubborn America out in Moyer, Oklahoma.
So that's kind of where. So we're not quite sure about the dates and all that kind of stuff. But when we went in at that time, there wasn't any really. It was more of a flea market type of thing, swap meet, than it was a motorcycle rally. They just had a lot more stuff. There were people selling recliners and bracelets and siding and gutters and all kinds of crap that, I'm not going to strap a full-size mattress on the back of my bike and haul it home. Yeah. Just what I'm looking to spend when I'm at a motorcycle rally. And so this year looks like it's, which we don't have a list of all the vendors. They don't really post that, I guess. Some places do, some places don't. But they didn't post anything with their vendors. But like I say, some of the ones that we know that's going to be there, Speeds Performance Plus is going to be there. All About Customs, which does the handlebars, the fat bagger, lower your bike up and down, Dirty Air Ride. They've got the Fat Tire Kit with the painted fenders. They're the only one. They got the Orleans front and rear shocks and struts in the front. So that's all kind of cool. They're all there. Plus, we found out Rick Rack's going to be there, and also JP Cycles is going to be. So those are the only ones we know for sure that's going to be there. And on Tuesday, we're going to be there. And by Tuesday night, you should know everybody that's going to be at Westworld. And then
Andrew, we're going to be in Sturgis on June 10th.
That's the plan. So we haven't booked that campground yet because they're closed because of the winter.
They don't open until May, and they don't take any reservations till May 1st.
So we've never had a trouble getting in there, so we shouldn't have any trouble this year either. That would just change. If we couldn't, we wouldn't be getting there till sometime around the 24th of June if we went the other way around. So we'll just have to see how it all works out and see what happens. But right now, that's the plan. June 10th, we should be there. We're in Rapid City for the first 2 weeks, from the 10th to the 24th. And then we go over to Kathmandu over in Sturgis, and we're there the rest of the time till 2 days after the rally. And then so if you come out early, is a good time to find us because we're out doing rides, we're out exploring places, all that kind of stuff. We're not necessarily doing anything with you, but you can do stuff with us because I usually have already got kind of every day. I kind of have an idea what we're going to do tomorrow. Like for instance, some of the things we already know we're going to do. 385. We're going to drive the 385 at least once or twice. We're going to go down there and have chicken a couple of times down on the 385. We'll do Iron Mountain, Needles Highway, Custer State Park. We do all those in the first 2 weeks.
On that end of the country.
Yes. And it saves that 25 miles. And 25 miles is 50 miles round trip. So, hey, it's easier to get closer than it is farther away.
Rick, where you at? You're having golf ball size hail right now. Down in Florida?
Illinois had some bad weather today. St. Louis Cardinals are whooping butt. 3 games in a row they've won.
Woohoo! Go Cards. Andrew Hill said, sweet. Hopefully we can meet up with you guys this year. We are coming for pre-rally. There you go. Andrew, we'll see you there. Okay, rides. Live from Central Pennsylvania. Okay. Okay.
And for those thinking about wondering what's going on with Sturgis, because we did a video a while back on Sturgis, what the heck is going on with Sturgis? We don't really know at this moment. I don't think they even. What happened is pretty much everybody that was in charge of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally either got fired or they quit. So there's nobody right now, unless they've appointed somebody that I haven't heard, in charge of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. So what will happen? Everything will be kind of the same. They're still going to have Main Street closed off. We're still going to have police down there. They're still going to have Johnny on the spots. Typical stuff. Any of the events going on, we don't know anything about that. They don't even know nothing about that. If they're going to have any rides like they've had the mayors shuffled to the bars, I know that's not going to happen because
Mayor's pub crawl.
That ain't going to happen. I'll say that right now. They had the Chiefs ride. They had Pappy Hoyle's
Pearl
ride. They had more.
The locals ride, wasn't it?
And so none of those at this moment are happening. I don't even know if they're doing anything for probably, I would think for Tuesday, their Veteran Day. I imagine they're still going to do some stuff there. I'm assuming they'll still have bands on Main Street down at the pavilion down there. Other than that, not much. Now they're still doing the flat track on the last Sunday. That's still going on. That was already pre-arranged before the new commission, mayor, and board of directors and everybody else got in. So we don't know. Actually, there's an election coming up here in April, the second Tuesday or first Tuesday, whatever it is, that they're voting on 2 more of the board members. One's quit or retired, and so they need to fill that, and the other one is trying to run for the seat again. So other than that, pretty much the whole city council of Sturgis is all brand spanking new. So we'll leave it at that. We've reached out a couple times. Nobody's responded to us, so I can't tell you anything more than that. We've given a lot of suggestions, but nobody seems to. Well, a lot of the places that we're talking to says it's a great idea, but the city's never jumped on anything suggested. So we'll see what happens. It is what it is. But the rally will continue. The Knuckle, the Iron Horse, the Loud American, all those are still going to be full function. They're still going to have all their bands. All the vendors that are normally there are still all going to be there. There's no restrictions on any of them not to be allowed to come. So there's just a quick rundown on what we know about Sturgis. Oh, that's why I kept thinking today, what was it that I really wanted to talk about? Laconia. So some of you may know that the gentleman that used to put on Ocean City, he did a couple rallies in Panama City, and he used to do some of Laconia. He did their speedway out there where the vendor trucks were at, where Amsoil Adam was, and a lot of vendors are out there. He's in some little bit of trouble right now, and he's no longer able to do any of those events that we know of at this time.
Longer to promote.
Yes, he's kind of
That's what I know.
indisposed. And so what we found out from the Laconia, from the racetrack, they're taking it back over, but what they've done is doubled or tripled the rate for the vendors. So a couple of the vendors said, no, they were paying like $3,000. They want like $8,000 now for the same spot. And it's like, no, most of us are traveling from the East Coast. It's not costing us. So right now, I'm not saying there's even going to be any vendors out there. I don't know if they're doing the same thing to Harley and Indian and Yamaha and all the different demo trucks that were out there. If they're trying to quadruple their prices too, if that's the case, there may not be any vendors out at the Speedway for Laconia. Right now, the ones that I've talked to said, we're not paying that. So they've said, we're not going down in price. And the problem is those vendors, they don't want to go to the other locations because at the dealership in town, it's already pretty crowded. There's a couple bars they can go to, but most vendors do not want to be in a bar atmosphere because what happens, you get drunk, you get stupid, you get vulgar, and you can't sell to people that are drunk and stupid. You can, but it ends up being more trouble than it's worth. So most reputable businesses, vendors do not really want to be on a bar that's open all night, just to be honest with you.
Ryder X wanted to know if you heard of the new EM units for the new Davidson.
No. Is that what they put on the new RR, CVO RR? Because a lot of things are changing now, which I'm seeing a lot of stuff on the internet, and I haven't done a lot of searching because of the politician, which we're not going to get into talking about politics, but a lot of the government regulations that a lot of people were really worried about seem to be getting put on hold now. We know a couple big manufacturers that actually had to put out their header pipes that didn't have converters in them. They had to put a lot of items that weren't emission control acceptable and had to put it out and let a steamroller roll over millions of dollars worth of product. This just happened last year for a very large, we're not going to say who they are, but a very large vendor.
Ryder X says there's a new company that is the first onto the market with the that will for the new Arlington. Your kittens on.
Because the way it works right now, the way it was at the end of the year, before anything else changing, and I don't know if anything's changing or not, I'm just telling you. But when we went to the AMI show in Las Vegas, that's what they were saying there. Everything has to be in compliance. So you could take a tuner, for instance, that Speeds Performance Plus sells, but it's not a tuner that goes in your bike. It actually changes the ECM that you have on your bike. So that way it still keeps it legal. So that's a lot of things now are, this is what's at the end of the year. Like I say, I don't know what's going to happen in this next 3 years, 4 years that's still left of the person that's in office now with emissions and things like that. But at this moment, you cannot change you cannot take out your ECM. You can't take your tuner off your bike and put another one on, because that's not emission standard. That's just saying that's the way it was. Now, things could be changing, just like this new company coming out. We'd have to do research on them and see. My question to them would be, are you emission approved? That's your question. Because as we talked about, I never did do a video on it. But when you start talking about emissions, things that are,
You did that at
no, we
or
did
was
it at the
the
AIM.
show?
And, but what happens is they have to be in compliance with emission rules. So,
The Salty Badger said they're really working hard on trying that.
and so there's a lot of it. A lot of this comes from California. California started this 20 years ago, stopped us from putting straight pipes on. They had to have converters in them in our motorcycles. So if you lived in California right now, it is against the law. But no manufacturer will even send you a header pipe without a converter in it. Now, we're hearing that a lot of the manufacturers, which we're not saying any names because we don't want to get anybody in trouble, some of them still are selling header pipes without converters in them. So, but they say now the new converters, which when I was talking to somebody the other day, they said this isn't true. But I was told by a couple of people that manufacturers that they've changed the converters in these systems to be more breathable, that you can get good numbers out of them. I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no. Nobody can tell you unless you start putting stuff like Speed. Speed's going to do a bunch of stuff. They got a new 2024, 25 they just bought. And they're going to put a bunch of different tuners on it, a bunch of different header pipes on it. They're going to do different air cleaners, all kinds of stuff. We did a little intro on them the other day while we were in Daytona. And they're going to play with this bike and see what all they can get out of it. It's a test bike. It's not one that they really are driving on a regular basis. They can get away with a little bit more stuff you can do to it. Right now, they're not coming after consumers, but they are coming after big big jobbers, people that have catalogs that are selling lots of parts to people all over the United States. They're the ones that the emissions are coming after, right? They're not coming after the shops, but the AIM was afraid that could be in the very near future. Their idea was to start writing Congress and stuff like this and say, there's a very small percentage of motorcycles on the road compared to cars. And
the company's called Wiring.
Okay, and we'll do some research on that, and I'll see what I can find out. And maybe we'll call them and talk to them and see if they'll talk to us on over the phone. Some people will, some people won't. I don't know who we are, what we're after, what we're doing. So I don't know, but that's kind of where we were at the beginning of the year. We went to that in January, AIM, February. And so we went to that, and that was the latest scoop at that time. When I sat down and talked to SNS and a lot of the other manufacturers there, and a lot of the businesses that were there, big wigs were there from all over.
What was so Mecum Auction was the end of January, AMI was beginning of.
And so it had a lot of really good technical information. I thought they were going to sit down because I went in for this meeting, and I thought they were going to sit down and talk about what was legal and what wasn't, but it wasn't. It was all about how can we stop what they're doing before they ruin our businesses. Because if your bike can only stay stock, you couldn't do anything to it. So what they're saying now to do is when I went through this class is buy your parts individually. Like, let's say you're going to buy an air cleaner. Well, you buy an air cleaner that came through the.
There's a guy came now he was banging on the door. I thought I heard it knock earlier. Now he wants his helmet or wants to buy the helmet. So we'll see. He must have jumped the fence because Bob went out there and locked it so he wouldn't come up and do that. So I was going to ask Russell Teague. Yes, we will be in Sturgis. We'll get there June 10th and we'll be there throughout the rally. So we'll probably rally ends on the 10th. So we'll probably be up there till the 12th. And then Jimmy Luff, parts cheaper at the rally? Not necessarily cheaper. Bob likes to get all his stuff done at the rally because he'd rather have somebody that's done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times versus taking it to your either local shop or your Harley Davidson dealership. And, let's say you want, they've got limited amount of parts. Like if you want an off-brand part. So that way you can hear the sounds there. They don't have any on bikes. Usually they don't. And so you can hear the pipes, you can test them, figure out, see which ones you like and what you want to do with them. So that's why Bob would rather get stuff done at a rally. And then you say, well, what happens if you leave that rally, go home and something breaks? Majority of the vendors that we recommend stand behind their product. So they will either send you out a product if something fails. They will give you a name or number of somebody if something fails, and they generally will pay for the labor to get it put on. They'll be at another rally if you're going to be close to another rally. So there's usually you can get it fixed. And most of our, like I said, most of our vendors, we stand behind their work. So if you have an issue with it, you can call us and we'll call them and we'll get stuff done. So there's your answer, Jimmy Luff. Tell Jeff that it's not a green screen behind us. Our wall. Not the green screen. So we're in the shop, but we're just on a different wall. So we moved it from over there, the table, over here. So that's why that's not a green screen. Bruce said, yeah, after the 81st that Sturgis tried to cancel, I know they didn't want to have the rally during COVID. And that's what happened. They, the state, or I guess the county came in and said, if the city doesn't want to issue permits, we will issue. Tell them. Oh,
Yeah. Car blew up and he's got a little ATV out here that a four-wheel ATV like we sold. That's his own transfer. He came all the way from Searchlight.
jeez. That's like 50, 60 miles away on that little ATV. I don't know.
Good for him. He didn't argue. He
Yep.
says, if it's good, that's exactly what I need. You know.
And Skippy, Laconia is not canceled. What might happen is the promoter at the Speedway, where there's a bunch of vendors there, is jacked up the prices because the promoter that used to do it is no longer able to do it. So that's Laconia won't be canceled. They're just not,
There might not be anything going on at Speedway other than races.
or there might be very limited vendors
Vendors.
at the Speedway.
The problem with all this is sales so far this year. We only had Daytona so far to come. They're doing all right. But I mean, it wasn't blowout. They didn't have crazy money. You know, the numbers, well, the city actually came out now and said there was only 138,000 is the count that they had at the Speedway for the full week. Now that's counting, they say they took out for people, but you know, when you're counting the Speedway, when we were there the first Saturday, which was the busiest I've ever seen it, lots of strollers, lots of little kids, you know, people bringing their families there because you can park your car down the street. You can, you know, on the back street, you can walk over. So a lot of people do that and it's family fun. So you can't say how many motorcycles are. I was saying there's probably, the beginning of the week when it first started out in Daytona was, I thought we were going to have a record crowd. It was going to be really big. But then once the rain and stuff came on Wednesday, never picked back up again. And then Friday and Saturday only got busier because of Black Bike Week. They have that at the college. And we didn't get a chance to get over there because it rained on Saturday. I wanted to go over there to Randy. Randy had a bike show. I wanted to go check out his stuff. And we didn't make it over there. But so that brought in more of the fat tire bikes, more crotch
Not the
rockets,
fat
things
tire,
like
the
that.
big tire.
Yeah, well, some of them had that big giant tire on the back. It's like a car tire. It probably is a car tire.
Where's your?
A little warm. Air conditioning.
Find the fan. He's on. We are doing, oh, he's asking Neil how he's got that same poster hanging behind Bob's left shoulder. I think we were there together.
Party anywhere. The Buffalo Chip.
Yeah, we got one.
Got a lot of banners. I don't even have that posters. I don't have room. We're going to redo the wall over here. I haven't got around to doing it because I have my bison head that I bought over a year ago. It's going to be 2 years soon. And I wanted to hang that somewhere. She won't let me hang it. I was going to hang it over the fireplace at home. And somebody said,
Nope. So
he's back down here. So he's over here in plastic still and never been taken out. I don't know if you've seen him when I was doing the couch. He's resting on the couch. So I want to take that wall over here that was behind us. It looks like brick and it's just a backdrop, and put they have some stuff at Home Depot paneling. It has different designs on it. I think it brick or I
There's
don't remember.
brick, there's wood, there's a bunch of, there's.
I don't
like
remember
3 or
which
4
one I
different
picked.
kinds.
But I want to redo that wall with that. It hangs a few things on that. And maybe we'll have some pictures that will rotate them around. So it's not always seeing the same
So
things
behind the
us.
backdrop is the green wall.
Yeah. I painted it green because I thought we would use it more for that.
green
And I'm not even
screen.
sure if we ever used it.
Maybe once or
We
twice.
use it at home all the time. When we're actually in the bar,
Garage.
third garage. When we film there, we always have a backdrop behind us. It could be Daytona or it looks like a garage. And it's just a picture we put it on a green screen. So this is a real wall behind.
I know that's what somebody asked if it was green screen. Call
Nope.
Jeff. Nope, that's a real wall.
My collection.
Crap.
Stuff that I picked up. Well, it costs more to get all most of the stuff in frames because I didn't want to just stick posters on the wall. I wanted to put them in frames so that way they would last. And some of the stuff we bought, because I've got an Elvis picture over here. I got an Easy Rider picture over here. Another Chopper picture, which I'm not even sure where I even got any of that stuff. I don't even know where. The one up here of one of the first races in Daytona, I got that at the Parsons. Got it.
I think you got the one of Frank too.
Yeah. Frank from the
American Pickers.
Yep. He died.
Wait a sec. It works on the 23, 5 and later bikes as well. The impact of the EM is fast and has a wideband O2 sensor using speed density. The data is unreal as well. The Thunder Max works on the new stuff, but there's a sticker on the wall that I don't know if I've ever seen. Yeah, I just saw it a few minutes
The
ago.
sticker.
Steve Ratham. It's up there on the top. Or the second one from the top.
Which we got the couch there. I don't know where I'm going to move the couch to because my wall now has gotten longer with all the stickers. I even got stickers I don't even have on there yet. I even got some I've stuck on the side now.
Yeah.
I know with tacks because I didn't want to stick them on. And so, yeah, I got way more stickers. I may end up having to put them out in the shop. I just got so many here. Take that off. I can put my pictures on them all out there. Maybe.
Stick some stickers on, or are they all with text? That number 1 is stuck on
Yeah, that top one.
text.
And
To Jericho Station. All of them bike every of stickers.
so what else is going on? We're getting the trailer all loaded up. I've got the veteran bike at the house. The plate came in yesterday. The plate was too big for the fancy frame that they have on the bike, so I had a tin snip it down, make it a little. Can't use tin snips on a license plate. Bends it. Got some metal cutters that might have got them from Harbor Freight. I don't know where I bought them, and they did a really nice job. And so it's out in the car
That's
already.
just like, is
Yep.
that what those are?
Mhm. That's not what those. And they're in my tool. So got that all done. So we did find a few more things wrong with the veteran bike that we're not going to talk about right now. We'll talk about when we get home. But it's safe enough for me still to ride it and stuff like that. So far, I haven't found anything else. But I've only rode it from here to home, 1 mile, as far as I've gone. So let's just see. And we'll see how it all does. I don't know how much she's going to want to ride it by herself. I figure probably if we go to Cave Creek, she'll probably be all right because it's only like 6 or 7 miles to stay in. But going in on the highway and all that, I don't know. The dealerships and all that. We'll have to wait and see how that all works out.
On
see
the
what
weather. It's really super hot.
That's not supposed to be. Right now, they're talking 70s all week, higher 70s, which would be a little cool, really. It'll be freezing.
Got to put some more jackets. Trailer.
We got that. We got our bicycles. We're going to take those along in case we can ride around the campground there. I don't know if we. Oh, well. Supposed to take them with.
It wouldn't kill us to ride them either.
No, wouldn't. And so we'll see how that all goes. So everything looks pretty good. We don't have any real definite plans. Then at night, we're going to probably be down at Cave Creek most nights. I may get to where it's really boring and stupid and we just won't stay down there. We might eat someplace in town and just stay at the trailer. I don't know. If you're there, contact us. Let us know. we'll do our best to meet up with you somewhere, or we'll at least tell you where we're going today. A lot of times, the one that drives me crazy more than anything else is when somebody says, "Oh, we're at Westworld now. Can you come by and see us?" No, we left Westworld about an hour ago. We're over at Cave Creek now. Can you come back? No, that ain't gonna happen. Uh, we can't backtrack. We're the whole day. We work all day. We're filming all day. Even if I'm sitting in the bar at night, I've got a camera in my hand. She's got her camera in her hand. So if we see something, we're off. We're off to cover whatever we see and do and give you good content. But you just never know what's good and what's bad, what I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use. We don't really wait and see. I'll probably do a couple lives from there too. Maybe that last Saturday we might do a live. Maybe two. Maybe we'll do one from Cave Creek and then do one from Westworld. Just don't know. We just have to see how the crowds are, what the videos are doing. 'Cause I know a lot of, which makes this videos kind of interesting, is probably 90% of the people that are on our channel have never been to Arizona Bike Week. That's probably a pretty good, sure thing I can say, because it's more of a West Coast thing. Most people get to Sturgis, and that's as far as they go. You know, that's just the way it is. Most people are more, Daytona, Myrtle Beach, Laconia, Leesburg, Panama City, and go from there. So it would be really interesting for most of you to check out the series that will play on this to see if something else you might be interested. It's a different type of rally. It's a desert thing. I mean, if especially if you're retired, this is kind of a cool thing to do, because we have courtside down here. You can spend months down here for pennies on the dollar, boondocking stuff, and it's like Florida in January and February. It is here. We don't get snow. It doesn't snow. If we even
It's
see,
chilly at night.
well, if we see 35-degree weather at night, it's for like 1 hour, and then it's going to heat right back up.
To the 40s.
And then, but typically we haven't, this year we haven't really had any days that didn't get into the 60s. We haven't had a day that their high was in the 60s.
Very chilly.
For her,
And
60
especially
degrees.
when it's overcast and it's windy, it's cold. We've never been to the Four Corners rally. We've been to Four Corners, Durango and Colorado, but we've never been to the rally.
The problem is it rolls over, what is it, Memorial Day or Labor Day, one of those holidays. I think it's, we're not
Opposite
back yet.
Neil.
We could almost, maybe it is, I don't know if it's Memorial Day or Labor. If it's Memorial Day, we could almost hit it. But see, we're back to, once again, we had some of our friends from California went there a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years. And she had never gone. It was a bunch of people we used to ride with all the time. Took a bunch of girls and guys, went up there, and they spent the week.
Hey, Jimmy.
And so I wrote her afterwards, and I said, "What do you guys think?" And I said, "Will you go back?" She said, "Nope, we'll never go back again." Wasn't much of anything. It was pretty much one bar that had everything going on, and that was it. There just wasn't a whole lot of stuff. Now I know Billy Lane's going to have some racing up there this year, but I love Billy Lane. I love his racing. I love all that, but none of you do, because when you look at the stands, there's not even 1,000 people. There's probably not even 500 people in the stand, and it's sad that that
Even in Daytona, flat track races, one section had quite a few people in it. The rest,
and this is for the flat track race. Now the Daytona 200, I know it's not sold out, but it's sad. That's the thing that drives me more crazy than anything else, and especially these people when they talk about rallies. Not the way it used to be. Well, I'm looking at a picture that's from Daytona back in 1955, racing on the beach. That's what rallies was about. Are you doing any of that? No. Because I see it when we go to these events. There's nobody there. There's a couple hundred people. We got Jack Pine Gypsies, got all kinds of stuff going on out there. Even the flat track on Sunday, which more tourists were there, there might have been
More
1,000
locals.
people, maybe 1,200. But it was more local people probably than there was motorcycle enthusiast people, which is sad. And like I say, people whine and complain about this all the time. And it's especially in Sturgis's case. Sturgis is exactly the way it was 50 years ago or 80 years ago. You don't have to go see all the vendors. You don't have to go into the bar, but you do because that's what you want to do. You want to go to the bars, you want to drink, you want to get drunk, or you want to go and watch the band. You want to see name acts. You know, people are whining and crying about the Buffalo Chip. Oh, they don't have anybody good. If the only reason you're coming to the
Rally.
any motorcycle rally is because you're looking for the big name acts, you either need to come to LA or go to Vegas and see some real concerts and pay $300 and see somebody that's well known. That would be my recommendation. That way you see a really good concert versus standing up. To me, going to the Buffalo Chip, and if I bought the ticket that night for $120 or $140 and have to stand and listen to 2 or 3 bands to hear the one I really want to hear, sucks.
Somebody, Jeffy, says they're overpriced. He's $12 for a beer. There are places you can go that won't cost you that. If you're at the Buffalo Chip, now it costs to get in the Buffalo Chip because you go to Woody's Watering Hole. They have dollar beers until 5 and dollar hot dogs. So you can eat and drink there fairly cheap.
All along Main Street in Sturgis, you can go to
Vets Club.
Bet's Club. You can also go to Uncle Louie's. You can also go to what's that place that sells the motorcycles out there?
Rumble On.
Rumble On. All are selling $3 to $4 beers all day long.
Well,
So they're there.
Even in Arizona Bike Week, whatever place I said they were $4 beers. There's a place. I don't remember where at.
So there is places, but see what happens is people go to One Eye Jack's or they go out to the Full Throttle Saloon and they're mad because their beers are so expensive. You know, the first thing you should do when you see things like that is if that's your number one complaint, don't spend your money there. Get you a soda, get you a bottle of water, and maybe eat there if that's what you want to eat. But you don't have to. You don't have to buy drinks from them. And if nobody bought any of their alcohol, they would lower the prices. But see, the people do. Just like there was a guy a couple years ago, was on Facebook, and he was mad because out at the Full Throttle Saloon for a hamburger and a fry was $25. He said that's ridiculous. He says that is just they're just stealing, they're robbing, they're stealing money. And I'm like, did they hold a gun to your head to make you eat that? Buy it? No. My buddy's a diabetic, so we had to eat. So you knew your buddy was a diabetic before you got there, right? Was you there all day? No. What time did you get there? We got there about 5. Stayed till watch the concerts. So you could have ate before you came, and that probably would have held your buddy over. He could have put a candy bar in his pocket if he needed to or something. Well, yeah. Well, then what are you complaining about? You know, and it's I hear this all the time. It's like the knuckle. I pick on the knuckle because we eat there. I just know their price. They charge $15.95 before the rally for a hamburger and fries. Nice meal. It's a big hamburger, it's a fry. During the rally, it's $18.95.
$3.
If you can't afford to spend $3 more, then you should stay home. You shouldn't come to the rally. Things are going to be, it's just like going to Mike on tonight.
No.
They just went to the
The Diamondbacks.
Diamondback. I was going to ask him how much the price of beer was at the baseball game.
I don't know if he.
Well, but he might not have seen the price. But most time you go to a stadium, you're paying $12 to $15 for a beer. And you'll have 4 or 5 while you're watching the ball game. Why? Because that's what you want. But you could have walked across the street to a tavern and sat there and watched it on TV and probably got $3 or $4 beers. But it's more convenient for what you have. And it's the same thing with Sturgis. We sometimes will eat at McDonald's. We eat at Dairy Queen while we're there during the week. We eat at Pizza Ranch. All you can eat for $17 or $18 comes with a drink and everything.
And if you go on Wednesdays, it's senior day and it's cheaper.
It's like 12 or 13, something like that. So there is place you don't have to.
One,
You don't. But yes, we ate at the Knuckle and we ate at Loud American. But did we eat anything? You know, One Eye Jack's is not is we ate there before the rally. We had barbecue and it was okay. And the price was same thing. It was probably $15 or $20 a person eat. I don't know if we split it.
We
I
were
don't remember.
splitting.
And so you know, it is what it is. But if you, I always say that, go to Disneyland, see what a beer costs you at Disneyland. I don't know. I
Any
just,
sports function.
it always drives me crazy that people think that by going to Sturgis, which is a small town, their beers are probably $3 or $4 every day at all the bars that are open. Most of the bars are closed. That should be the price all year round. Well, the other thing you have to think about is all these bars have to hire more help. Right now, if you went to Loud American tonight, there's probably one guy cooking. There's probably one or two waitresses and a bartender. That's probably only people working at Loud American because they don't need that many people. They're not packed. But during the rally, you might see 25 employees in Loud American at any one time. They got the bar outside open. They got the other side open under the tent just because they have to get all these people. Plus, you got to have more cooks. You got to hire somebody's got to pay for all these people. So that's where the added prices are to that. Plus, yes, they are trying to make money. If you go down to Sturgis right now and go down Main Street, probably 65 to 70% of the businesses the doors are locked. There's nobody there because there's nobody spending any money down in this little town during the year. Right now, there's a guy on Facebook that I've been going back and forth with. He's got a Sturgis page that somebody put one of my videos on, and then they kind of accepted me to be in there. And he believes that the city of Sturgis is missing out on everything, that they're missing out on being a big town. Well, he thinks his thoughts is you need to have more stuff for kids and young couples. So finally today, I asked him, because he keeps going on and on and on about young people, but more than sports. So I'm also a DJ and I play a lot. These kids would really like to have a lot of parties and stuff we could be doing. The city could pay for them. She hasn't brought me back yet because we were DJs and I did a lot of high school and grade school and middle school parties. And I don't see a lot of these. Yes, I see little kids. Little kids are with their parents. Yes, on Wednesdays during the summer, the city puts on a band or a DJ and they have blow up things. They have all this stuff there. But you don't see a lot of 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids at this function. So today I thought, I'm going to look at Spearfish. So Sturgis is about 7,000 people, between 6 and 7,000. They really only have about this. When I did AI search, it said there was about 3,000 people that actually live in Sturgis year round. So out of that, they got somewhere around, guessing, about 700 kids that range from 0 to 18. So this gentleman, or person, I'm not sure if it's a guy or girl, that's got this Facebook page, thinks they need to do more stuff for kids to bring in more people. And that'll help everything. And I said, well, so I Googled today, Spearfish. What do they got going on in Spearfish this month is they have Lego Day. You're between this age and this age, you can come for 2 hours. If you're from this age to this age, you can come for 2 hours. And this age to this age, 2 hours, that's it. That's all they got planned. Well, there is a community center. You just need some volunteers to do this. You could probably ask people in town that have Legos that their kids don't play with anymore and get free ones. Probably a lot of them out there. We could probably bring them truckload from our grandsons that have them that don't even know what they go to anymore. They've taken their stuff apart. But that's not doing that much more. I don't know. See, they tried to put a water park, which I was against that too. $10 million water park. It was supposed to cost $5 million, $6 million with the property. There's not enough people in Sturgis to justify a water park. They were going to build this pond, put these blow up things in it that they could use for 2 or 3 months of the year. And this would be, everybody thought that all the young people, a lot of people thought the young people, that's what they'd want. A lot of people are writing on there saying the same thing I say. All of our grandsons spend 99.9% of their time on their phones and 0.1% of the time watching TV. So other than them doing sports at school, there's nothing else going on. There's probably stuff going on in their town that they live in, but neither one of them do anything with them. So,
Well, the oldest one's going to graduate. He doesn't want to walk down the aisle to graduate, and he doesn't want to go to prom. And he's a senior this year, and it's like, why not?
I could have passed on prom, but somebody. Graduation I did, but prom, have cared less.
So we got a few things here. Salty Badger says he's going to the Tennessee Jam 24th of May. So will be,
Tennessee Music Revival, is
I
that the one?
guess.
Right after Daytona
Yeah,
or right
right
during
after-
Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Tell us how you liked it.
Yep. And then David and Mary Beth are on from right there in that area too. And they said for the high price of food that people are used to cheap food, fast food. Well, fast food ain't so cheap no more either.
Yeah.
Although Arby's is pushing their fish sandwich for $6.99 that comes with a drink and fries.
But sure, so you can find specials at times for things, but I mean, it's like us. I get to where we don't even have McDonald's anymore. We can go down here to, guess you like as a soup street.
Chili's.
Chili's, I can get the $10 meal, comes with a drink, comes with a hamburger
You
or,
get the free chips and salsa,
and I get a
a bowl of soup, fries.
chicken sandwich, big giant chicken sandwich. And
Usually I eat the soup and he eats the sandwich for $10.99 and we get the free chips and salsa. So we're out of there for less than $15 for both of us.
and so there is ways to save money. But yes, no, we're not going out and eating 3 meals a day
Good night, Skippy.
during the Sturgis Rally or during Daytona or during, like right now, I'm drinking protein shake every morning. So whatever that is, it's $22 for 15 of them. However, whatever that divides into, that's
Right.
what I'm eating in the morning. I'm drinking shake.
Oh yeah.
There's 15 in a box and it was $22.85 or something for a box of them. So that's what I drink. That's my breakfast. She eats an apple for breakfast. I eat the other half of it. And she drinks some of her junk she drinks. We're not going to eat any
Hey, shut up,
breakfast
Bubby.
probably at all while we're in Arizona Bike Week. We'll probably do like today, we ate lunch about 2:30 today. Odds are we're not going to eat dinner either. I have
He'll eat
grapes
fruit.
tonight.
He'll eat grapes and I got me some strawberries and blueberries. I ate those.
So that's kind of where we're at. So we'll eat one meal, and I don't mind us going out and spending, $30 or $40 for us to have a meal. I could split something, but with her on her diet she's got to watch what she eats. I'm supposed to just eat less of what I'm supposed to. So that's my problem. If I get a meal now, I can't really eat everything that's there. If I do, then I'm really stuffed. So that's one of the things. And it's tough when you go to a rally to watch what you eat. Someplace we were at the other day, we ended up just getting a hot dog. We both got a hot dog and just ate that. And so there is ways, especially like here at Arizona Bike Week, there is restaurants everywhere. Cave Creek, no, but
Down in wherever you
Westworld,
go, there's Dale, Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, that one, Buckeye. There's a whole bunch of little towns around there, and they've got, you name it, restaurants.
they got some great barbecue we've had out there. They've got all the hamburger joints are there. They got just about anything you want is going to be in that area. So to me, if I'm instead of me spending $30 or $40 at the bar to have a dinner, probably a hamburger and fries, I'd rather go out here to Outback or one of the steakhouses, and you can get usually their special dinner price usually is $10 to $15 for the smaller steak, or even 20 at the most. You're going to get a better meal there than what you got off a vendor truck. And so now in some cases you're kind of stuck, like in Sturgis. You don't have a lot of choices. You do have McDonald's there. You have Dairy Queen. They don't have Taco Bell. Burger King's there. Sturgis for fast food.
Oh.
Just have
And
Burger
Pizza
King.
Hut.
They have,
Arby's.
yeah, Pizza Ranch. And the
Burger
Arby's is
King.
out at the highway. We
Yeah.
usually eat at Arby's once or twice while we're out there. So there is other places to eat other than paying all that money to eat at one of the places. So that's kind of what we do. See, a lot of people are more about where they're at. That's what they want to do. Well, if that's the choice you make, that's what you do. But even in Sturgis, I always say, because you can camp for free. You can bring a tent and you can go out there and any of the federal land, there's a bunch of it out there by Deadwood. You can stay for free. Last 2 years, they had Johnny on the spots out there for people. There's no showers or nothing like that. You can pay to come in town and spend a couple bucks. And you can take a trailer out there and put it in and stay. There's also the one out across from Bear Butte that it's like, I don't know, 10 or 12 bucks a day. You don't get any utilities there, but they're little campsites and they got a bathroom and stuff there that you can use. I imagine it had toilet. They didn't go across from Bear Butte. That little campground that had that little building there.
I think it's
the
just
toilets.
toilets, I think. hour in there. I don't know. I don't remember.
Don't remember. But I mean, that's like 12 or less than $15 a night.
It used to
It's
be
first
like
come, first serve.
1163. It was a weird amount.
It's first come, first serve.
So Salty Badger said the Tennessee Jam is different. That's where the Sons of Speeds is going to be racing at, and Tennessee Cycle. Two different things.
But which is true. Which I didn't know Billy Lane actually was having an event. I knew he was going to have races out of this place where he's at, but I didn't know that that's going to be a rally too. But yes, but Tennessee Music Revival, they have that dirt track that they do dirt racing there. But yes, the one that Billy Lane's having, which I don't even know what that is. I know he's got some
It's called
property now that he
Tennessee
owns.
Jam.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't even know he had a name for that. But he's also doing Four Corners this year. He's racing. He's got races going on at Four Corners. That's been advertised. They were trying to get him 2 years ago. He was at Lake of the Ozarks at a race last year. And this year he's not doing that. And Bikes Blues and Barbecue wanted to get him, and he wouldn't do it because he thought it was too close to Tennessee that it would hurt his race. Which which is sad. I love the racing. I love what they do. I love the guys and girls that are out there racing, but it just doesn't draw any attention. It sucks that nobody.
Try to promote it, push it, tell you guys about it.
And it's just.
I mean, they
sad.
sell beer there too.
Well, I think what it ends up being is people just have too much stuff they want to do. I want to go to the concert. I want to go over here to this bar. I want to go riding. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they just never get around to doing, the hill climb. We're going to try to do it this year. We're just as guilty too that we get to wear, but we're trying to give you coverage of all the stuff that we don't really get over there. And I said, here, we're going to make it for one of the bike climb days, even if it's just for an hour or so there, is get some of the shots of them climbing up and down the hills and all that. And it's really cool. And it's worth, even if you go for an hour or two, you're still supporting that industry. It's a non-for-profit. They never, if they didn't have the sponsors, track would be gone a long time. The one in Sturgis, Jack Pine Gypsies.
HD Chiefs fan says he's been to Sturgis 12 times and has never found any of the actual restaurants that are open year round to be any higher price than normal. But be smart, and many places are reasonable. They also have limited menus too, because they're trying to get the food in and out to serve the people that are coming in as quickly as possible. So if they've only got 5 things instead of 35 things, it makes it much easier for them to hurry up and cook it and get it out and get it to you. So that's why they do that. And yet, like Bob said, a normal hamburger at Knuckle Loud Americans, $15.95 with fries. During the rally, it's $18.95. So that's only $3 more. It's not like it's $25.95. So they added $10 on more.
I'll get my screwdriver.
It's still limpy.
Limpy, yeah. Not
So,
staying stiff.
Yeah, all these different things sound yummy. Fresh cucumber and lime. Sounds good. I drink matcha tea every morning. I don't put anything in it. I've been trying to look. I need to order some more because it's almost empty. And they went to sell me the place that I buy it from. They've got a new matcha latte, and it's got cream and sugar and all this stuff in it. It's like, I don't want that. I just want my plain old matcha tea. And I put a scoop of that in my water and drink it. And that really gives me a lot of energy. There's lots of antioxidants in it, and I like it. So Tall Jeff, yes, there are commercials during lives now. We don't know why or when they started doing that, but it seems like the last month
Well,
there's been commercials during
YouTube
lives.
has put it out that they're trying to help us.
Thanks for the
Help
sweating.
us all make more. And so yes, we've seen this. I said something to Monkey the other day. He said, yeah, he noticed they're up there too. I don't know, which I haven't gone in and looked. I don't think we can limit them. You either say you want commercials or you don't want commercials. And you have to say it on all your videos. So what I do is I usually just let them do whatever they want, because you just can't control what they're doing. Do I see any more money out of this? I don't know. You can't tell because you can't predict videos. We've had another good month here. We've had for Daytona and stuff, and coming up this month here, we've had a really good run. Our month's going to end up here tomorrow. I guess will be our last day. Takes a whole day to run through before it takes the next day before they post money for this week or for today. Today's money is actually for yesterday's video. Everybody that watched up to that point. So I won't know till the first at night how we did for February, which is really, so far, it's really, really, it's been better than we've ever had in the last few years. The last 2 years in Daytona has sucked big time. This year we actually did better. We had a lot of good videos at the beginning. I got a couple videos that got up around close to 30,000 views, which is great for us. And we kind of petered off at the end. It just we didn't get with the rain and stuff kind of put us behind. We did a couple rides, which I'm not regretting any of that. But next year we can't. We're not going to be able to do what we did this year for Daytona. If we go back for next year. So all this depends next year is if the same sponsors come back and sponsor us again for this year will sponsor us for 2026. We'll be back doing all the same rallies again. If not, then things could change. And we don't know what that is. And we'll see how it all goes. Right now, everybody's been really good. Picked up a couple extra new new spots. We picked only one up. We thought the other one was going to come along in Daytona. It didn't, but one did. And we have another.
Might be in
I don't think. And for all the
been a
business they've
couple
got.
that's really.
That's why when you go to a vendor, if you've seen them on our channel, you need to remind them that's how they got there. You got there because we recommended them and things like that.
Yep.
Because that's
Maybe get
how
rid of Rex.
some of them we show that like we have one keeps telling me all the time, oh, I wish I could. And he's giving us some free stuff, but it's not that. I don't know what it is. It's not like we're asking a lot of money to sponsor for our channels. Actually, we're very cheap for what a commercial costs and for what they get from us. We spend a lot of time. Like one of the vendors actually told us the other day, they want to know, do we need to send you more money? We need to send you some. We're like, no, we're good right now. We're good. They're wanting us to maybe do some stuff for them on the side. And I said, well, we could do that. That would, that's some stuff we could work with you on and stuff. So they've got their web designers designing something and they might want us to take over one of the pages and run it for them and put all the stuff on it and keep it up to date for them of stuff pertaining to their events
Thanks.
and motorcycles. And I'm like, that'd be an extra money coming in. And so we'll see how it all goes. But this year's already down. Everything's good to go.
That's because he's called Bucky's and they're supposed to call him back to sponsor.
There you
Always
go.
have our Bucky's up.
There you go. They
They
should.
have. They almost every live. I don't think there's ever been a live where we haven't had our Bucky's up. I always try to bring him somehow. And yes, Ryder X, we're going to go to Ocean City this year. We'll see you there. And David said he just saw a first commercial of Kubota tractors. Give us a thumbs up. Jeff says Jeffy's got premium.
And that's just nice. If you would pay for the premium YouTube channels, you don't get any commercials. And what's nice about it is the way YouTube works is now I'm only off an 8-minute video because that's what we started with. That's what they told you to do. Don't go over 8 minutes. So that's what we started with video. So for an 8-minute video that you watched, and there was a commercial at the beginning, maybe one in the middle, one at the end. If you skipped out all of those commercials, we made 0.004. That's it. If you watched all the commercials all the way through the end, we would make 4 cents from you watching. So when people think there's a lot of money in YouTube, we've got a couple, like that video that I did, there were almost 30,000 views. I think yesterday when I looked at it, I made about $124. And it's been up all month to make that kind of money. And you might say, well, that's pretty good. She left a job making over $50 an hour. And I was making almost $50, but I had better benefits than she had. I had a pension and our health insurance was better. And I had life insurance and all that kind of stuff. So we made really good money. So I would have only had to work an hour or 2.5 hours to make that money. And for that video, we worked all day to film that video. And then I worked a couple hours to edit it. And then I had to upload. So 12 hours we probably worked to make that video happen. And I'm not complaining, but I'm just telling people that because a lot of people
think we're rolling in the dough. And
they think that you're making thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. And then there's YouTubers. There's people out here that are getting 50, 60,000 views on
every video
they put out. Well, that's good. But you also have to look and see what their retention rate is. Did the people watch all the way to the end, or they watched the first couple seconds and they dropped off? It's because when I talk to some YouTubers, we're actually making more money than some YouTubers that have more viewership than I do. But what I'm figuring is they're watching our videos longer than what they're watching this person's. That's how we end up making more in a month than what they're making. which doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it works out. It's all about viewer intention, viewer.
Retention. My cousin Dale's on, but he said he can't comment for some reason. I guess he's not logged in. So, hey, Dale. And sorry, I missed Julie. So, did you guys go to the home opening game? I'm assuming that's why she was in town. One for both your birthdays, because Julie's birthday is tomorrow, and Dale's birthday is on the 1st.
Super chat.
Yep. So, super chat. That's from Jeffy. Yep. Nope. Where's it at? There he is.
Super
You work
chat.
hard.
Pating,
Super
super
chat.
chat.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
So we probably Salty Badger are not going to go to Born Free. That's the one in Irvine, California. Been to that one before. Probably just not going to go to. I don't even really know what the days of that are. Frank Coates wants to know about Laconia in New Hampshire. He wants to know if that's a rally worth going to. There's my friend Lisa.
How far are you from Laconia? I would not travel from Arizona to Laconia. It's not worth that. If you're within 300 or 400 miles, it's worth saying you've gone there and done that and been there.
Because that's supposedly the oldest rally in the United States.
The issue I've got with Laconia is, one, I was disappointed because everybody kept telling us it was going to be like riding in Sturgis. Well, it is nothing like riding. It's very similar to maybe riding in Missouri. Very scenic. A lot of creeks running along the road when you're riding. You're up high. You could get up high elevation and stuff. That's it. There was no there was one switchback out of all the places we went. And the roads are so bumpy from the trucks driving on them, like back roads. If you get on got through this one road and it was really curvy, but I couldn't get over about 30 or 40 miles an hour because my bike would bounce off the road because it was so rough. And from the big trucks going through and hitting their brakes. And so I was disappointed in that. The other thing we were disappointed with Laconia was down on Weir Beach, this whole block where they close all the street down, only bikes go up and down it. There's one big bar at the end of the street. That bar called in Laconia.
Or High Tower, something like that.
It's kind of a cool bar. That's it. The rest of them are people selling T-shirts, and I'll bet money they're all selling the exact same T-shirts, exact same price. I wouldn't doubt if they're all the same vendors. They do have a little place there. It's got arcades because when there's nothing going on down there, it's still a tourist area. So people that you would see at a beach town, a lot of the older beach towns, like if you go down to Santa Monica Pier, they've got a big building that's got a bunch of video games and things like that in it. Those things where you roll the ball and get in the thing, and you get coupons like stupid pizza place that you play games in, Chuck E. Cheese. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese or Dave and Buster's, all that.
Something like that. But that's it. The vendors, there was vendors at the dealership. I don't know. But nothing big. None of the big trucks can get in there. Most of the small ones are there. Fair and Exchange. I think Dan Kite was there. Chip. That's where he was at. There was a couple of vendors that we knew that were there.
So Frank says he's close to Boston, so he can make it there in less than 2 hours.
And then I'd go. I would go to say I've been there, done that, been glad I did it. I'm glad I went because I know about it. Would I go back again? No. The only way I would go back is if somebody said, we will fly you guys in, we'll get you a motorcycle, and we'll give you a place to stay. We're there. Other than that, I have no interest going that far to travel to that. There's a lot of rallies. Galveston's kind of like, I'm not a big one on Galveston. We were going to maybe do it this year because of one of the sponsors said that they would help pay for it, cover the cost. But the issue for us is if we take the trailer, it's a long haul. It's probably 1,500 miles for us to get there. So we're going to spend probably $1,000 in gas or more to get there and get home. Plus whatever we could maybe get comp there. There is a vendor that place to stay, but it's just not that exciting. There just isn't. I don't know. I'm glad I've gone to Galveston. We only go once, but twice to go.
Yeah, I was
Twice. Been there twice. Went the first because we've been there twice.
the second. They Jamaica me happy.
Didn't we change the place? We were going to go to the other place. We ended up going someplace
We
else.
Called and canceled. We ended up not going there. So I think we've only been there once.
Set up there.
Speaking of birthdays, I think April 2nd is also Ryder Rex's birthday. So
Holy
31st,
smokes.
1st, and 2nd. People with birthdays. Boom, boom, boom.
So I can say it's kind of like Ocean City. Ocean City, once again, we're sponsored there. It's okay. But once again, we're not into the big concert stuff. I like beachy areas. That's kind of cool. This year, last year we got to go down to where the wild horses were at, and that's kind of a cool ride. Went down there. Nothing challenging, but just kind of a run. This year they want to take us to where the ferry is at and take us across up to New Jersey or
I
something.
think it's
And we're probably gonna do that one day. And so that's something different to do. But actually, then there's a couple bars that we haven't made it to. There's that one bar downtown that we wanted to go to.
oh yeah, it's secrets and fishtails, I think.
Yeah. We've never been there. The fishtails, we'd like to get out.
We went to
Um,
Pickles with Ryder Rex
yeah.
and we had a pickle shot in
Yeah.
Ryder Rex.
And that was kind of cool. And there's been a few cool places to go down there. You can ride down the boardwalk. I don't think that even costs anything. I don't remember if it costs us to do that or not. That one.
Oh no, it doesn't. It's a parade, a free parade, I believe.
And that was kind of cool to say, hey, you rode down the boardwalk. And but we're not into the big concerts. I don't know. Once we talked about Laconia, maybe that they may not have a lot of vendors out there at the Speedway. Same promoter was doing the vendors at, or the, well, he did the vendors too. He did vendors at the convention center, also did the concert. But we don't really know all that's going on.
I wonder if they're raising the convention.
I would think,
Even did that Del Mar thing too, that there you had to ride out to that stadium where
yeah.
the college baseball.
Well, I wouldn't
teams-
think they'd be raising it. I just don't know who would take it over. So like I say, I don't know. That's what's tough about all these rallies is so many of these promoters are
Yeah,
trying to
yes.
make them bigger and bigger by bringing in big acts and big names and stuff like that. And I always tell them all the same thing. You don't have sponsors that are going to
Annually
pay
now.
for your bands. You shouldn't be bringing them in because there's no way you're going to sell enough tickets to pay for even Marilyn Manson's coming out here. I bet the guy's probably charging $30,000 to $50,000 probably at least to do a concert. I would think. But Jackal's probably $30,000 to $50,000 to the door. And that's a lot of tickets at $37 a ticket. I think they're selling them for Jackal. You got to sell a lot of tickets, pay for that. And there's probably not even enough room to justify that. So once again, you're looking for the promoters, the sponsors to pay for that. Beer companies, the insurance companies and all. That's why everybody used to badmouth Budweiser. Budweiser's spent a lot of money on motorcycle rally. A lot. They've been the longest running sponsor, Anheuser-Busch has, for motorcycle rally. Just FYI. People wanted to ban them and do this and do that. It's just like all you're doing is cutting your own throat by doing this. And it's like people just don't, we're not going to get into the Teslas and all that kind of crazy stuff that's going on. I say the same thing there is, people are upset about Tesla and the guy doesn't really even own the company anymore. But beside the point, but you're taking a company that's an American-made company that they have more parts in their car that are American-made than anything else, and you're trying to run them out of business. So my thought is, I guess we need to have another Chinese company come in here and buy them out, so we can have another Chinese company in the United States. And I don't get where people, it's okay to boycott somebody. If you want to boycott them, boycott them. But what's weird about all this is they had a big thing here, I guess, in Seattle. I seen about 300 people showed up to boycott the dealership. Like probably 299 of them people don't even own a smart car, don't even own an electric car, and they're all up there boycotting it. And it's like, whatever. Just like, I don't know. People need to put their priorities in order. Will people in power now make the country better? Wait and see. Will they make it worse? Wait and see. For one, a lot of people complain about Social Security. So I'm going to be 65 this year. So when I turned 62, I was already retired. I retired when I was 58 years. And I went down, I called up, I got online first to get my Social Security. When I turned 62, I decided, we figured out that it'd be easy. I'd have to live till I was like 88 years old to break even for drawing my Social Security at 62 years old. So I said, the heck with it, we're drawing it at 60 years old. So I got online, couldn't get it working. We got on the phone, put on hold for hours. just let the phone lay. And we called several
Well,
different
no, what
times.
happened, once you were on for like 10 or 15 minutes, it just disconnected you. And then I call back and I'd be on hold and 15, 20 minutes, it connect you. So we did this for almost 2 hours and then we just thought we'd drive up there.
So we have an office just down in Needles here. It's about 20 miles away. So I go down there and then there's this little security guard out front. Says, "You have an appointment?" I just need to talk. So finally he opened the door and asked, and they said that I could come in and ask a question. I went in and said, and explained to them all that. And, "We don't know why you were put on hold. We don't know why they're hanging up on you. We don't know this. What do you need?" I said, "I want to set up my Social Security." "Oh, well, we'll give you an appointment to come back next week." There's nobody in the office. "You can't talk to me now?" "No, sorry. We can only talk to you if you have an appointment." "All right, give me the appointment." So this happened. So I'm going to be 65 here. So this happened 3 years ago. And it was screwed up back then. So am I worried about my Social Security being taken away from me? We'll find out. I'm getting ready. I'll be soon here in the next few months. I'll have to I'll have to file for my Medicare. My insurance company, my insurance through work won't cover me if I don't do it. So we'll see how long it takes, but I'll bet money that by the time I hit my 65th birthday, I will have a Medicare. And we'll have to wait and see. I'll give you guys an update. So government screwed up to start with. And I've told this story before, but I met a guy. I used to work in California. I was a field technician for the gas company, SoCal Gas. Seen more foreigners in my life than you probably will ever see in your lifetime. Every nationality in California. And I was out one time. I had to go to this building. They were going to raise it. It's always crazy because they're going to demolish the building, but they were going to call it raising the building. And I had to get there to make sure the crew had come and at the street, they had cut the pipe off and the meter was gone and the pipe was gone and all that for the building. So it wouldn't blow up from gas. So I get there and I'm standing out front and I'm looking at the building and it's kind of sitting kind of weird. And where the meter says it's supposed to be, doesn't look like there was ever a gas meter. This guy walked up to me and he says, "What are you looking for?" I said, "Well, I'm from the gas company." He knew I was from the gas company. And he says, "What are you looking for?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for where the meter was." He said, "Well, it used to be, this is my building. I'm tearing it down and building something else here." And he said, "Meter was over here on this side." I said, "Oh, okay." I walked over there and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can see where it used to be." Okay. And he said, I said, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm a big talker to people. "Where are you from?" And he says, "I'm from," and this is probably 20, 25 years ago, way before the guy that's in office now was ever even thinking about running for office. He says, "I'm from Iraq." I'm like, "Really? Are you an American?" He says, "No." And I said, "Oh." And I kind of didn't say nothing. And he goes, he says, "I take it you're an American." I'm like, "Yeah, I was born here." And he said, "You guys are really stupid." And I'm like, "Pardon me?" I'm in a gas company. You can't say a whole lot. And he says, "You're the only country in the whole world that doesn't think that your government is stealing from you." And I'm like, "No, they're supposed to be helping." And he says, "No." He says, "I'll ask you one question. Why do you think money, when they send money to foreign countries, once it hits our border, they send it in cash? You know why?" Guess it's easier for them to move the money around? No. He says, if it goes to Iraq, it's going to go to whoever their big head guy is, Amalaba Habadewa, whatever his name is. He's going to take half the money off the top.
Prime Minister.
And then he's going to pass the money down to his generals, and they're going to take half of the cash out of it. And it so until it gets down to the people that really need it. And maybe they get something, maybe they don't get nothing. But that guy said, in Iraq, we know that. We know that if America is sending money, or if England's sending money, or Canada is sending money to us, that we're never going to see any of that. That it always leaves in cash. And sometimes there's money that's kicked back to the politicians that are in office during that time. So this is way before the guy that's in office now was over there. So there was thieves back then that were in our government that was probably benefiting from this. And if anybody would spend the time, and I didn't really start doing this just a few years ago. My daughter actually told me, before you Google something or before you post something, you should do a background check on. And a typical example right now is there's a whole bunch of them going around Facebook right now telling everybody that that the Democrats turned down no tax on tips. Not gone through yet. You just got to Google that. Have they voted on tax on tips yet? tax
Absolutely
on
right, Rex.
Social Security. None of that has happened. And it's just, there's so much propaganda out there on both sides. You should do your homework before you even comment. What I've been doing with most of them now is I just said, there's so much hate on this page. Maybe that's why we're in the problem we are, is because everybody's hating on each other, calling people names. I don't know. We probably have a few people that are Nazis in our country, but I would say the majority of the people here aren't Nazis. I would, and all the different
I need
names
to
that they're
change the subject.
calling people, it just gets old after.
My
Get
cousin
along.
Julie's on. Julie, happy birthday tomorrow. I'm gonna text you too, but I'll tell you now, live on air, if I can tell you happy birthday, Julie. Salty Badger says there's going to be a David Mann in Kansas City in September at the Stockyard. I guess they have more than one throughout the year. I don't know.
Oh,
Somebody want to know if we were ready for Arizona Bike Week. I think that was called Jeff, but yes, we are. Lisa said something. I remember birthdays, but not anniversaries. What anniversary did I miss? I don't remember. And Nicholas wanted to know the Wisconsin homecoming for Harley Davidson. How often do they have it?
every year now.
Doing it every year now.
So what they used to do with it is only on the 5-year, they would have it
Another Jeff.
in
3
Milwaukee.
Jeffs on.
And then the rest of the time, they kind of moved it around. Well, when we went the first year, what year did we go to Milwaukee? That was the 99. You have to go out and look at the flag.
Milwaukee,
Yeah, when we went, it was their anniversary that year.
120th. See
That
thing
was
up
the-
there?
That was the
120th.
first year that they decided from then on out, they were going to have it every
Every year.
year. And they
That was
wanted to
the
call
year
it
we
a
lost
rally.
Charlie.
They wanted to
That
make a
was in
rally out of it.
23.
Or Sturgis got upset about it. I thought last year kind of sucked because they moved it up, but it got moved up because I think the Republicans had a convention going the same weekend, and that's why they moved it. Now it'll be back to the first weekend in August or whatever it is.
Dale's on. His birthday is the 2nd. So my cousin Dale got on. He must have
So
figured out how to get in.
Milwaukee's kind of cool.
Did
I
Julie help you?
like Milwaukee, but once again, it was the first time I got there. We didn't really get to do a lot of things that I thought we want to do. But
Don't
same
encourage
thing,
him.
it takes away from my Sturgis time. We get to Sturgis on June 10th, and I've got stuff to do all that time. I can't take the time and go back. See, what we did there was when we went was we were coming from Laconia. So we did Laconia, and then we went to Milwaukee and did Milwaukee, and then from Milwaukee we went to Sturgis. But that hurt my Sturgis that year because we weren't in the full swing. It kind of did the same thing with us in Daytona this year. By us not being there early, I wasn't in place. Things didn't go smooth enough for me. Started out right, but it ended up really rough. And I got to get used to that. Now this year, once we get to Leesburg will be a little screwed up because we don't get there till Tuesday. Wednesday is Thursday is when the dealership starts, right? I figured
Yes.
Leesburg Thursday and
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is Leesburg's
Yes.
actual days. So we'll only be there one day early too. So we'll be a little behind there. But then once we get going to Panama City, Thunder Beach Rally, and also to Myrtle Beach, that's all going to be about the same because we're riding the bike to each one of those rallies. So it'd be no different than us pulling the trailer. So Myrtle Beach will actually be there. Could be there.
Couple days before
Yeah.
it starts because it's back-to-back weekends too. So, but we're leaving that Sunday. You're leaving Sunday too.
I think that's what I have to look at Sunday. And so I'm planning on riding that. Unless somebody's got room to put my bike in a trailer, which a lot of people said something about Adam, but Amazon's already got that extra bike he bought. I don't think he'd have any extra. Then Katie's got that 3-wheel thing now, and that takes a lot. So I don't think they've got any. And I don't know if any of the other vendors would have a wheel chuck, put my bike in a trailer. So we'll see what happens. If not, I'm going to spend probably 2 days riding up on my. It is what it is. Well, the hurricane don't blow. So
Hopefully not. Got 30 minutes left.
So
So happy anniversary to Lisa and Joe.
There you
Today's
go.
their anniversary.
how many years you been married?
I don't know. They didn't say that. Just got home early. How about that? And they're
Listen.
going to celebrate by going to bed. I bet you just to go to sleep because they both work 2 jobs so they can come
Get
to
up
the
and
rallies.
start over on Monday again.
That's right. HD Chiefs fan says, I've done mission trips in a few different countries. Trust me, the biggest difference in other countries, government officials don't hide their corruption like here.
That's kind of what that guy from Iraq had said. He our politician, I didn't say
No.
that the politician admitted that they steal the money. Here they don't. They just all sound like they're the best people in the world. Most politicians are out for themselves. Doesn't matter what party they're. It's just really sad. And I wish we would go back to what the Constitution says, which is states are supposed to be kind of running themselves. And the federal government is supposed to just kind of oversee everything. Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. And that's kind of like they talk about the education thing. And I didn't realize that the one in Washington, D.C. actually started in 1979. And up to that point, it was more ran by the states. And I said, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Didn't know Jimmy Carter brought. So it is what it is. Things get better. We have to wait and see. Got to live every day like it's the last day. You never know when Jesus might be coming back.
Right. You're right with Jesus. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Because if we don't show up one day and we're gone, gotta get right with Jesus. CVMA says, come by and see me at Camp Easy Ride in Leesburg. Okay, CVMA. That's Rick Rand. Love. You guys run into any of our friends from last year in Daytona? Yes, and they all wanted to know where you were at, right, Rex?
Yep.
So we sat with
Lisa and them.
and
wanted
Lisa
to
and
know.
Joe, and somebody else asked. Oh, Daytona Dave asked where you were, so that you were sorely missed at Daytona Bike Week.
Yeah. I
So
want to know where you were at.
28 years they've been.
Long time. Anybody, once you make it over the 15 years, you're doing good. Most of the friends and family members that we know, 15 seems to be the year that most break up and divorce their spouse. We know very
Dodge
few,
it all.
very few couples that are still originally married to the original person. Sister and
Good
brother-in-law.
night, Jeffy.
They've been married over 50 years. And we'd never think they would be, but they still are.
Yep. And they just said the same thing about us. We rode our bikes to Fisherman's Village yesterday and went to our place. You remember? Yes, I do. We saw you when you were coming. You were going to turn around because you were across the bridge, the wrong side. And we were going across the bridge to go to it. So, yep, I remember that. Billy says, amen. Amen, Dale says. They're all my cousins. Amen. Janice isn't, but she's part of the family. You guys hung out with Neil before. Yes, we have quite a bit.
Neil, we normally only
Rapture, Israel,
see.
and it will be amazing.
You see Neil? You see?
Yeah, because we took the bag for him over to us with
That's right.
to Sturgis because
Seemed
he
like that's what I thought.
he had another
A writer.
writer X said he missed the crew too. Yep, Jeffy was not there. Haven't seen you yet, Jeff.
Thinking what he's thinking about going to Sturgis.
He said he might pack up and come in. I don't know. You can come early, and then that way, I mean, you won't probably get to see everybody, but you get to see us. Next Sunday, we're gonna go see Bob and Tam's clothes on their chairs because of the rapture. You never know. Might be right now. All of a sudden, comes like a thief in a knife. Married to my beautiful wife 38 years ago and couldn't be happier. She's the best part of me. She'll be 40
Years is
46, 47, 48.
the other two,
48
years.
years.
Dated for 2.
Yep.
Still in high school.
Yeah. Got to go unpack. Just flew back and landed at 6 p.m. Love y'all. Bye, Julie. I'm pretty sure we're coming this year. Okay, Ryder X. I'm glad to hear that. Commercial 8, number 8. It should go right back to where it left off, shouldn't it? It shouldn't.
No.
It skips that whole section while the commercial's
Yep.
on?
Yep.
Wow.
Because when I'm watching Monkey the other night, you miss out on whatever's going on. It's not like No.
Okay. Ryder X. He says, my wife is okay. I guess I'll keep. Tell us a story, Bob.
so. No, she won't let me tell stories anymore. There's not much we
There's
haven't
just
seen and we
way
haven't
too
done.
many stories. That's what the problem. Because one will lead into another, into another, into another, and we go there.
We've been
Been down that road. Been there, done that. There's probably not much we haven't done or experienced.
We've never been swingers. Some people always say that when they hear something about that. I guess when the monkey people were talking about
Didn't know
upside
what-
down pineapples, he didn't know what one was. Like we lived in California
Night,
for 17
Janice.
years. There's not a whole lot you don't see in California. I never really seen escape Mexicans. I never really seen a Mexican.
Not that we knew of.
Yeah. That the few Mexicans that we had when we lived in Missouri, I didn't realize they were Mexican until after we moved. They were more like white Mexicans. They didn't tell you where they came from. So then once we moved to California, which I've met Russians and a guy from Iraq and I'm Chinese, and probably just about every country in the world, I have met somebody from them in California. That was kind of the only cool thing about living in California, especially being the gas company guy. I was going in these people's houses. You really got to meet a lot of different people and different ethnic groups and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool. And to hear their stories. One of the things which always didn't drive me crazy, but it's what people don't realize from foreigners, not so much from Mexico and stuff, but from people that have come from Russia or came from Germany or something like that. And there's people here they've come here and they become US citizens. They've done the test, they did everything they're supposed to do. And when I'd be talking about stuff that's going on, politics and stuff, and people would go, "You Americans have no idea." He says, "If you'd want me to, I'll get on my knees and kiss the dirt on the ground because I'm so happy to be in." He says, "You should send all your kids for 30 days with no money to our country where we're from and see how they survive. They won't make it 2 days without calling and begging to come home." He said, "Because you do everything for people. It's easy to get things done. You have a right to speak. Like people were talking about Greenland up there. If you do search on Greenland, Denmark has just been a terror to them. There's some things that they wouldn't even allow people to do. They were making them take. I won't get into. You guys can do your homework and find out why Greenland may not be. Why they don't get along with them. And it's like it's tough. It's just like people that might live in Russia to say, I don't want to live in Russia no more. It's unless you can't stand on this side of the world and make judgments on other people what is best for them because you don't know what's best for them.
Learn about it on church.
You're not supposed to call.
Judge. Either.
Not judging it.
I know that's what you were saying. You can't stand here and judge other people.
Yeah, because we can't. You can't say for what other people think or what they do. It's
You don't know their hearts.
yeah. So you'd have to go over there and live. And you might say the same thing. Well, how does the guy that's in office now? How does he making that decision? I don't know. So where they're doing it at, I don't know. But when you do your homework, and the idea of when I always say do your homework, get a lot of different sources. The other day somebody was putting something up, and it was something against the guy that's in office right now.
Okay, well,
And I was like, I don't know about that. So I Googled it. Well, it came up to an article from the New York Times from 2 years ago. So pretty much a liberal paper, I would think. So it was a liberal person that posted this thing. And so when I looked at it, I was like, okay. His point, part of what he was saying was true, but part of it wasn't true based on this article from the New York Post 2 years ago. So I thought, so I did. So I took some of that article and I told the guy, I said, well, part of it, you are right. This
hedge.
part. But on the same article that I got from the New York Times, it says this at the bottom. And he's never wrote me back. But so I kind of agreed with what he had, but what he was saying was that made him bad all along because he did this. Well, if you looked at this, it didn't justify what was good or bad, but it made it what he had posted made it sound 100% negative, and it really wasn't. It was pretty much just a neutral thing. You could go either way on it. But so I always tell people, go and you just can't go to, like me, I wouldn't just go to Fox News, or I just wouldn't go to CNN and get my information. I want to get it from other sources. Like, for instance, there's a lot of AI videos coming out right now on Harley Davidson. They're going bankrupt. They're doing this and they're doing this. This is all AI crap. It's all made up. It's all fake information. There's 99% of those videos. I watch them. I contact Harley Davidson and I talk to somebody in the corporate level and say, hey, what is this? Well, pretty much now I don't call anymore because I look at it. It's very easy to tell if these videos are AI. You can now go down because they have to mark them that this information may be not documented. Well, that tells you it's AI. And you can hear by the voice. And when you see all the clips of stuff.
There's even a lot of TV commercials right now that are AI. You can tell by that voice.
And
Traveler Wear is OZ. This Traveler, it's 7 Traveler from OZ. AZ, with O, and Hog Head.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes. Right. Rhetoric says you want the truth, you got to cross check and verify everything.
That's right, because there's
Pretty
so
much.
much. It doesn't matter who you're listening to. So much fake stuff out.
You know what
And
else we need to talk about? Our giveaways. It's almost time
Yeah.
to go away.
so we do have some. We have some, but not very many. So one, we are giving away a motorcycle to a Marine, a current active duty Marine, a 2003 Softail delivered to your house in the U.S. or at the base. Where just got to send us an email, pop our email up. Send us an email with all your information and we'll put you in the drawing. We're looking at right now, both of these drawings I'm looking to do when we get back that Monday or Tuesday. Well, depending on when we get back.
Because the bike's being given away on April 25th. And the other giveaway is to go to the Spring Fling Rally, which starts on the 23rd.
Third. 23rd, you can come as early as the 23rd. So we're giving you, so that's one. If you know somebody that's a Marine, you can put their name in. Tell us where they're at, just a little brief history about them. We will eventually, before we give them the bike, if they pull their name, they're gonna have to send me a picture with them holding their ID so we can prove they are
A
U.S.
Marine.
Marine. But you don't want to give it to somebody and find out that guy wasn't even in the service ever. So second thing we're giving away, which there's no qualification on this other than you have to show up. We're giving away a free stay at Ozark Mountain.
Thunder.
Ozark Thunder Campground. There you go. During Spring Fling in Arkansas. It's going to be, the stay is at Berryville at the fairgrounds. You get to stay with Camp Easy Ride. They got the big plush tents with chairs and the bed up off the ground and all kinds of stuff. And be great weather because it won't be super hot. They've got hot tubs. They got dance pools. They do all kinds of fun events during the event. And that also gets you on that ground. They're going to have concerts. They're going to have beer girls. They have all kinds of stuff going on at this fairgrounds. Also, you will get a $500 gas card when you arrive to compensate you for your gas and all that kind of stuff for getting there. You will also get dinner at the world famous Cat House with Jeff and with Marcus from the Camp Easy Ride. They will give you a full-filled entertainment night at the Cat House, probably Friday or Saturday night. All that is free. All you have to do is send us an email telling me that, hey, if I win, I'm willing to go. It's from the 20th. I can go. The 23rd through whatever that Sunday is.
The 27th.
And you don't have to get there on the 23rd. 24th is when everything starts. But the 23rd, Marcus is already there. You can come in and come check in your tent and all that kind of stuff and get all ready to go. Be a great time. I would love to go, but we're going to be in Leesburg already.
Goodness.
And we've already committed to that.
Thank you, Jeff. Others.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Ba-ting, Jeff.
So, art's on. Your art, our art, whatever. Joe Casey's on. Now that it's almost time to go.
So that's all you have to do is there you go, Art. You want a free trip? You go down there and take a ride down to Arkansas or right over to Arkansas and check that out. Be a free stay.
What's wrong with his bike? Did he say?
It's getting running real hot. He wants to get it dynoed. He's got that tuner on. He had that one where I think you do it yourself and he just never got it right. Now it's overheating. So he doesn't want to do any damage to the bike. So he wants to get it dynoed. So he was thinking about,
should go to Arizona.
I know, but he didn't ride the bike there. So I said, well, he don't have a vehicle no more. That Jeep blew up. He only got his motorcycle. He was going to buy a truck and he didn't do anything yet. So I told him,
rent a U-Haul trailer.
One way.
A truck, one way down there, Arizona Bike Week. Put the bike in the back, and then you'll have it down there. Speeds can fix your bike, and then you'll be set and ready to go and ride your bike.
I told him,
home.
I said, you can come down and just do like what we are doing. Drive the truck down Tuesday, be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leave Friday if you want. And you probably get a cheap motel for that. I told him he could stay with us for the
We got the Happy Jack bed. It's
told him
all
that.
fixed up and ready to go. Roll for it. Cool.
So there's a chance that you could win a trip. Put our email back up. If you're interested in getting in that drawing to get that all expense trip, which is give you $500 in gas, Art, you can even get over there at $500 of gas and back. Motorcycle. And I could stay in the motel or stay in the tent. Camp Easy Ride, cool thing. Plenty of blankets if it's cold at night. They have campfires and all that kind of cool stuff. Meet a lot of new friends. It's great for people just like you, Art, going by yourself. You don't know anybody. You meet a lot of great. And then you get to have dinner and all that fun time at the Cat House. You get to meet Jeff. Jeff's a cool guy. I like Jeff. And Marcus is a cool guy. Too cool. And Marcus, they've both been on our channel.
Guys. Yep.
And then you get to see a lot of cool things. And then maybe you want to come back when we're there for Bikes, Booze, and Barbecues. He was talking about going to Daytona. You didn't know if he should go all the way from California to Daytona. What rally would I recommend?
Long ride, Art.
I told him that.
It's double going to.
Well, it's 2,200 miles. Well, we talked about it before, but seeing now he's retired, he could take a week to get there. Before we all worked, we couldn't do it in 2 weeks. So all I got to do is send us an email, tell us, hey, I can do this trip.
Art says he's homeless. I go to Arizona Bike Week. I won't have any place to stay. You can stay with us in the Happy Camp, the Happy Jack bed. He says I'm homeless. Wait, new female friends.
There you go. You might be a new. There's always
If
there's
you
some.
go to Spring Fling, you might find some Art.
There, a lot of them girls are there, and Jeff.
Tell it up,
I can have Jeff fix you up with somebody.
and don't tell Angie.
Jeff's got a lot of connections with that Art. We could tell Jeff that I need him to find a companion. Great, right? Jeff would. He knows a lot of girls. They work for him at the bar.
My mod post and email and copy. The
Do that?
mod post the email in chat so copy. Oh.
You want us to
I
put
can
our
do it.
email in?
Yeah, I guess that one. So they can,
Oh.
I guess so they can just copy it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
will.
you can do that. You'll do that. So those two are going on. So if you're interested, get involved with
That's
that.
the third one.
Well, third one's our veteran bike.
Right. But you said people can start now. I mean, look how many people we've got now.
I've got a bunch of people that were asking, but nobody sent the thing in yet. So my veteran bike, we're going to be giving that away to a veteran, or you could even get a second bike. You just got to be a veteran, a U.S. veteran. I got to say U.S. veteran because if you were in a war over in Russia or something like Russian, only for U.S.
Have you ever gone to the SHOT Show in Vegas? There's the email.
You can copy that and you can send your letters. So we're giving away that veteran bike, but we don't have a date on that yet. I gotta get all the stuff fixed on it. By the time we get done riding it this week, I'll figure out what's wrong with everything. We got a couple people trying to get us a speedometer and stuff, but I found a couple of little things, electrical things. I think I'm gonna order that manual. Everybody recommended a paper one. Not one person said to download a manual off the
Hi,
internet.
Dale. Have a happy birthday.
But the problem with these ones off of eBay, because you can't get a 98 Fat Boy Softail manual. They don't make them anymore. So you're getting a copy that somebody else copied. So I don't know how good they are or anything else. Well, I'm going to order one Monday when we leave. I figure by the time I get back, it'll be here. I need a wiring diagram just to do all my things I'm doing. I want to make sure I can run them. I can run a schematic if I've got one. I want to know where all the stuff is. And so by the time we get back, we'll know all the things that bike needs to get done to it, and we'll get all that fixed. And we'll be ready to give that away sometime between now and when Sturgis is, depending on how my time all goes. Because we'll only have a couple weeks before we leave to get work on it, but I have to order parts and all that. So if we may be asking for a donation to help. I don't know if we'll do a GoFundMe page or if for help paying for the parts. Because we've had a few people say that they'd like to buy some of the parts. So one of the JP Cycles will give us a really good deal. If they can't give me parts because they have to go through Komodo and it's almost impossible to pull through, but they can give me a really good discount. We get like an employee discount, so we can get stuff for like almost half price. So it wouldn't be that expensive. We did have some money in the bank in the bike builds for vets, but I really don't want to spend that money. I'd rather use that money to
Maybe buy it.
yeah. to buy another bike.
Build that up. So if we give away this bike, we'll be able to go get another bike. Do that
We don't get any volunteer bikes between now and then.
tonight. Please have fun.
If you're any of your dealers that you talk to, a lot of it would be good if you got any connections with Burt's, Barracuda, Harley Davidson. They got a lot of really inexpensive bikes. We've been down there and we've talked to Bert before, but we're not going anymore because we just don't have the time to go over there anymore because we're flying in. And if somebody wants to talk to them, give them our information about the bike builds. It's 100% write off. And we got haul bikes. We'll come and get them. Come out to Arizona for us. So if you've got a dealership that are around you that you think they might be interested, just like here, this bike needs a few things. One, I think we got this bike for 2 reasons. One, it's a 98. It's an older bike and the speedometer didn't work. Well, when they went to the parts department, you can't even order the speedometer anymore. Discontinued. You got to get an aftermarket. Well, the problem a lot of times when you look at dealerships, nothing wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about Red Rock Harley Davidson. They probably got a guy there that could fix it. But just getting the parts in and do the modifications, change what needs to be done to make it work is more than they want to probably deal with. They'd either wholesale the bike off to somebody, but in this case, they said, just give it to them. So it worked out. So a lot of dealerships do wholesale bikes out. But this is a way they still get, what makes it nice for what we're doing is it's 100% write-off for them. Just like if you donate any money, we can send you a tax receipt that you can still take it off your taxes. I think you got till the end of March here. If you wanted to send money and get a receipt from us, it's 100% write-off on your taxes. And we're more than happy to send you that. You just got to mark the box or tell us that you want a receipt and we'll send one to you. Nonprofit, it's all tax deductible. So that's one of the nice things about it. Where a lot of these guys out here are getting bikes and they're giving it away or doing something like that. Well, if somebody's giving them parts, they're writing it off as marketing. They're not writing it off as they at least get their cost back out. They're not making any money, but they at least break even. So that's the one thing we try to push with people about doing this is they're doing a good thing. One, they're giving us a bike that we can give to a veteran. And then plus we're going to talk about it all the time. We talk about this bike. We bring up Red Rock Harley Davidson is the one who sponsored the bike. Amazon Oil gave us the oil to do all the 3 holes, got everything all changed on it, got it ready to go. So far that's the people that have given us stuff. We end up having to buy some parts from JP Cycles. We'll say that they helped us out, but they didn't give us any.
Right. You don't know. I mean, he might.
Well,
He
they
can do a certain.
Well, you can do
remember?
$100.
I don't know. So, Hog Head Hill. I'm just going to answer this really quick because otherwise we'll be here another 2.5 hours. Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue.
Gotta go.
I'm just saying.
Did you just ask him for the second best rally?
So,
This year will be better because we're going to get there earlier. Now, because I lost the first car rental we had. I'll have to pay
probably
for
will
it.
be.
And we're picking up now on Thursday, even Friday, and getting down. But I like I always say the same thing all the time. When you're looking at motorcycle rallies, I look at motorcycle rallies as a certain way. And what I look at is, one, I look at the vendors. Is there good vendors there? Variety of people. Okay. Second thing I'm looking for is there any good riding there? Okay. Third thing I'm looking at is the community welcoming bikers. And the last thing is the people that come to the rally, are they good people? And they all vary. There's some rallies that are better than others. Like in Florida, probably the best rally for camaraderie and getting good attitudes and everything else, Leesburg. Leesburg is probably the most friendly, all around, good spirited rally. Police are really laid back. Only pretty much the local police are only really involved. You don't really see the county and the state like we do, like in Daytona and Myrtle Beach and Sturgis. You get a lot more other police departments that we have no control over. We're going to be talking about that on the video sometime. And she gets all of her phone calls down, our information back. But it's you got to find that. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, they have all of that. Sturgis has all of that. That's it. Those are the only 2 rallies in the United States that I know about that have those 4 things. And we can go through all the rallies and tell you what's downfall on all of them. And if you've been in these rallies, Florida, to be honest, there is no riding. It's just some nice riding around. If you want to ride along the beach, A1A, go visit some places and go see that. But I mean, there's nothing challenging. It's not anything like that. And people might go, well, there's Tail of the Dragon. Well, there's no rally around Tail of the Dragon. There's the Tennessee music one that we were talking about.
Bylaw.
There's some good writing around
revival.
that, but they don't have the vendors. They don't hardly have any vendors or nothing. The towns really have nothing to do with the event. The little town coming up the hill. What's the one coming up the hill? We stayed there the first night. Stayed at the KOA in that town before you get up to Loretta Lynn's ranch at the bottom of the hill. That time.
Oh, David and Mary Beth.
The
Is it
one.
Hurricane Mills?
I think it. But that was a cool town. They welcomed the bikers and stuff. But I mean, there's only a few restaurants there, and But I mean, when you look at a lot of these places, that's what you have to look at. That's what I look.
So they want to know how the tires are on the vet bike. Pretty good, aren't they?
They're still pretty good right now. We'll see how it all goes. I don't know. I may check when I'm at, because JP Cycles is down there. We'll check and see what new tires run on it, and if they've got a good deal going on them. They're
Have you bought new
MT6,
tires lately?
MT60s, MT90, 17s. I think is what's on it. 16s or 17s. I just looked up specs. I didn't look at the tires.
Dragon.
I might
think
get tires
so.
for it, but I don't know. Depends on the price. They're probably half or a little better than half worn.
So Jeff, you need to email us because I don't think I have your email. Because Jeff says email him. He said he'd like to help out. And Art said he was tires are good. He wanted to know how the tires were, and I just said thumbs up. That he might want to buy tires for it, but I don't know if he knows the cost of tires. Have you bought a tire lately?
Well, those might be a little cheaper. Yeah, it's not as big as mine. My tire was $500 on the back of my. I wanted to install.
Well, what's that smoky one? Is that nowhere near the Tail of the Dragon, the Smoky Mountain one? Rally that they have in.
I don't think it's.
You don't think it is? I don't know.
Tail of the Dragon is kind of almost up
They said
Tennessee, Kentucky.
North Carolina, Tennessee mountains. That's what they said. They're crazy. There's not a huge rally up that way because there's a lot of stuff up there. Rex agreed. Charles Fabian says, I prefer triple nickel. Jeff says, I will. Okay. You email us, Jeff. There you go. And then I'll email you or whatever. I can get you guys anything you need at cost. Cool, right, Rex? But this is a 98.
That's
That's the biggest issue right
Yes.
now.
is because it's an older bike and it's hard to
Art
get.
says anyway, if it needs tires, I'll cover it.
So it's
I'll let you know.
and we'll talk. We're gonna look at it and see. What I'm gonna do it since JP Cycles is there. I'm gonna look and see what they have, and then I'm gonna stick the tire and see what the tread is compared to the new, and then we'll make a decision.
Thanks, Jeff.
If we get new tires on it, then they'll be pretty. I'll probably ride it at least 100 miles, so that way they're worn in a little. Whoever gets it doesn't slip and stuff. But I mean, it's a really cool little bike. I like it. Doesn't ride the greatest in the world. It's really stiff. But I mean, it's a soft tail. It's not a touring bike. But I like riding the Sportster.
He's a little spoiled.
But I mean, it's fast. It's quick. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be a real head turner at
Okay, thanks, Rex.
Cave Creek when I ride it. They don't have an Evo show. I'd throw it in the Evo show. Would throw it in there. The only thing really wrong with it is that ring on the headlight, and I'm probably gonna have to try to see if I can find another headlight assembly for it because I can't. That ring, there's no ring. It was actually a color coded plastic piece that went on it. It's gone. I've looked. There's nobody in the world that I can find has one. eBay. I've checked every source. Nobody has that aftermarket. I don't know what happened to the front of it, where it went, but I finally found a picture of it to where the whole front had a bezel around it and went down the forks, almost to the halfway down or quarter way down, and it was all plastic. That's probably what those brackets are. I showed those brackets on the video when I knew what those were for, and nobody said, but it's probably for that plastic piece. But it's gone, so don't know where it went. Maybe it fell off. Maybe I don't know. Just gone. But it looks funny with not having the ring on the outside. The headlight's
Monty
only on
Bannister
there.
said he'd worry about the belt being a 98.
I looked at the belt and it looked pretty good.
Well, if I don't know if you saw it, there's a lot of new parts. I mean, it's all shiny, it's all chrome, and it's really pretty. So I would think if they would have put all that other stuff on it, and the air cleaner and all that stuff, I would have thought they might have put a belt on.
I looked at it, glanced at it. I didn't spin it all the way around, but I mean, when I looked at it, it looked pretty good. Well, this bike, if you watch the video, I was watching a video the other day about a Softail. I never changed oil on that older of a bike. So I just kind of watched a quick video. So they showed on the primary that it had the O-ring. And this guy pulled it off in 99. And he said, oh, yeah, you can tell that it hasn't been changed in a while. Guy was doing the video and said, why would you say that? And he said, now it's a fiber gasket. It's a whole big round thing now. And it says outside outplate. I showed on the video. But they said by seeing that, you know that it's had an oil change in the last 5 years because they didn't make that. Maybe it's only he didn't say, but he said that hasn't been out that long. So this had that on there, and the oil and stuff wasn't that bad. But I mean, I'm assuming that in those years the
All right,
odometer
Rex. Good to see you.
quit working on a lot of bikes.
Love you
So it was
too.
very well known. This guy bought it in 2010. That's what the title said. So I'm assuming it said exempt on the mileage then, that he never plugged it. It never got fixed back then. So I'm hoping because it looks like it's computer operated because it's got a Screaming
Yeah.
Eagle racing module in it. And so I'm hoping when I plug it in, when I get this other speedometer, that it'll come up with the right miles and we'll know what it is. If it's 10,000, if it's 20,000 miles, if it's 100,000 miles, I don't think. But I mean, whoever originally had this bike, it's, the chrome, it's got a lot of chrome on it, the wheels, really nice wheels and stuff on it. I'd love to keep this. It'd be a lot of fun just to drag it around, and especially at the rallies and stuff to ride it around. So I think once we get it all fixed up and get everything done on it, I think it'll be a great bike for somebody. I've got several people. I got one guy that said he'd ride all the way. He would pick it up from Sturgis because I was said something about Sturgis. He wrote me this big old email. He'd been in the service for all these years and he was in for a career and wrote all this stuff down. He said, I would love to have that bike. He says, I'll even get a Bob and Tam shirt and wear it. You can take it to every one of your rallies and say, I won this bike. I'm a veteran. Well, you would. And, but he says, I would love that bike. I would love it. I would take care of it. I would be my baby. And I think it'd be a great bike for somebody. And you can find places to work, but it's just like when I was watching Bert's Barracuda down there in Clearwater. They actually would work on that 98 bike. So there is some dealerships that aren't afraid of an older bike. But a lot of the dealers are afraid because if something, it's just like our vendors that we have. So many of them don't want to work on anything older than 2014 because if a bolt breaks or if something happens or something like
Can't
this,
get it.
something breaks that they weren't planning on it breaking, you can't go to the dealer and get something that's older than that. They don't carry them in stock, where most of the time you can. So if you're close to like a JP Cycles, you can go down there and get parts and stuff for it. I could get a speedometer. I can get the cable for it. They got it's no cable. It's all electronic. But it's all there. They probably have it in stock, one in Daytona, to where that's what they said there. Teddy Morris is one of their biggest customers. Their mechanics come over 3 or 4 times a day buying parts for them because of stuff they don't have in stock to fix the bikes they're working on. So it's nice if you have that. But we have a lot of shops around here. I don't know anything about any of the shops. I'm not big on having stuff done. But if we had
It's this.
side.
No.
So I forgot where I was at.
Darn. Say good night.
You gotta go to
John Boy.
Walmart and get you some new grips for a bicycle.
Yep. Oh, they're all gooey. I don't know what
Gooey,
happened to
gooey,
it.
gooey. We lost Rider
Ooey
X.
gooey. Yep. Loosey goosey and ooey gooey. We have a young guy just out of school that works on anything. That's cool.
Sometimes you find that like
Well,
that.
the bad thing around here is when we first moved here, we bought this house 10 years ago. So there was a shop here, a shop there, and now they're not there. There's another shop here and another shop there. And I would venture to say probably in a couple of years, they're going to be gone. And then we were somewhere where we were at, and we were passing out cards. That was it. Anyway, they're like, oh, this guy owns a shop. It's called DOA. And they're like, you guys need to go up there and talk to them about veterans bikes. And so we finally figured out where it was at. And I don't know how they work on bikes because it looks like it's in a little strip mall unless they've got a garage door in the back. I don't know how they get bikes in there and work on them. But anyway, same thing. I wouldn't say they're fly by nights, but it's really hard to make a go of a business out here because there's just not that many people, not that many motorcycles. And
We
not
got
that
a dozen
much.
shops. And the problem is, it's small business is tough. We've had
Oh, there you
garages,
go.
we've had businesses, we used to have
Oh.
garages. I've had several. I had a gas station. I had a regular. I guess I only had two. And but I mean, it's tough to run a business. You know, you got to buy insurance. You got to do all this. You got to do that. You got to do this. Got to do that. It's tough because it's like here on this motorcycle, I end up putting the insurance in my name, and the bike's still in the bike builds for. But they only look at the serial number and they're going to look and make sure it's got license. So I insured it. So the way it didn't, it would have cost $220 for my car here for the vet bill just to pay for insurance on it. And I'm like, no, I told the insured guy, it's probably only going to be on there a couple months. And then once we sell it, but I wanted to insure it. I insured it for $4,000. That way, if something did happen to it, somebody'd steal it or something, we'd at least get enough money. We could go buy another nice bike for $1,000. It's probably worth about $4,000. I've seen them on there, but there's not a lot of these street stalkers around. And the few that I've seen, a couple of people that have them already sold them, so I don't know what they ended up selling them. They were just postings that said sold, but didn't have a price on it. But I mean, I found one that was asking, the guy was asking $39.95 for it. But I mean, it's this one's just got, with the engine being all built up, it's a bad Evo motor. It's got this Screaming Eagle heads like my bike and here's got on it. And the engine alone is worth probably $2,000, $2,500 just for the motor alone. I didn't take a compression check, but I mean, it runs. I did find out it's got a hand choke on it. I don't know what I was doing. But I was down on that side and I looked up and I'm like, oh crap, there's a hand choke on this stupid thing. So, because I was kept, you heard me trying to start. It's kind of like starting my chopper out here. You got to keep playing with the gas, trying to get it going. Well, then I pulled the choke out on it, started right up. It ran perfect. Let it run a few minutes, kept pushing it in. And then when I got ready to ride it over to the house, I pushed it all the way in. I was like, holy crap. Because somebody asked if it was a carburetor. And it's, yeah, I assumed it was a carburetor just because the way it was, how hard it was to start. Like my chopper, it's a carburetor. You can just tell. Her bike, her 2015, it's fuel injection. You can just tell because it's easier to start. You don't have to, like the old cars, you have to pump the hell out of them to get them to start. We grew up in that age. We have a 66 Impala.
Super
Yeah.
sport.
Used to have a 67 Thunderbird. E-Bird. The tank. There's a lot of telephone. Intentionally.
And he tried a couple times with a foot. Because of me. Girl.
Good buddy Sue. My old
Yeah.
girlfriend, and we go visit all the time. She's gonna come visit us. Florida. She's gonna come and stay with us this time
Yep.
instead of us staying with her.
Had a lot of. So. We only have a 12-bay auto shop and the monthly operating cost is painful. That.
Yeah, 12 bays is a lot. It's
Yeah.
a big shop. Me, I've always only had, when I had my gas station, it was only a 2-bay shop. I had my own, actually used to be an old Texaco
comment.
station. I turned in the same thing. It was only 2 bays. Did a lot of work outside too, though. Yeah, it's tough. It's people don't realize how expensive it is to run a business. Just like people complaining about Sturgis or any rally costing more money. And it's like, you got to figure out how much more staff you have to put on. Somebody's got to pay for all that. We might be saying the waitress and stuff getting tips, but I mean, if you got to hire security and you got to hire bus boys, you got to hire ice boy, you got to hire all these other people, you got to pay people to dump the
Barbecue.
trash, all the other, I couldn't even imagine how some of these places, it's kind of like we go to Vegas. Look at these big casinos and about every 4 or 5 years, they tear them down. And it's like, how the heck they make enough money justify doing
All
this?
that cost.
Yeah.
Because the ground alone is hundreds of millions of dollars just for the ground. Then to build those buildings, and some of them are what, 30 stories tall? And then you got all the casino stuff on the bottom and chandeliers and all those gaming machines and all. I mean, it has to be trillions of dollars one of those casinos cost to build. And it's like, there is no way they can make their money back. I just
Money
I-
laundering.
Something, it has to be that, because even though there's hundreds of thousands of people that go to Vegas and they do gamble, I guess it's hard for me to imagine because we don't gamble. So I just can't imagine somebody dropping,
$1 million.
yeah, on a trip to Vegas, and they go every other other month.
And there
I don't
probably is.
know.
There's probably rich people that's got money and I've seen some people like that. I've talked to some people like that. That one time we were up in Reno, and this guy had back when the machines would pay you. He was playing $1 slots, and he had like 4 containers full of dollars in the roll in the 4 racks. And I said, "Can I ask you a question?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." I said, "What made you pick this machine?" He says, "You see all the money I've won here? Last trip I was here last month, I lost that much money." He says, "It's just." He says, "You just sit down a machine, it either does or it doesn't." He says, "You never know. You might put all your money in and walk away, and somebody else puts $1 in and they win big on it." Because that's just no sure way of why they call it gambling.
No, that's
And that's
what
why
I
we
think
don't
too.
gamble. We figured out why we don't gamble is because we're sore losers.
Yeah, that's why we don't play any games, because neither one of us can admit we lost the game. Uh,
Last
And
couple
that's
times I've been to
between
Vegas.
500
Usually I
bucks.
put about $20 in a machine. And
Maybe.
I think this all these times we've been, I don't think I put any money in any
Yeah,
of them.
these last, because we've been in Vegas a
year.
lot lately,
And
probably,
we're staying in a casino.
and it's like, yeah, we don't. I don't know why. Just
And so for our members only, if you
I'm
want to
losing it.
stay at a great place in Vegas that is very inexpensive and they have great rooms, Excalibur. Now stayed there 2-3 times.
too.
Both
And we
nights.
had a subscriber stay there.
Both were great. Actually, a subscriber stayed there too. They said they had a good time. I've actually got to book 2 more times because with our flights coming in and out, because one of the flights we don't get in till like 4:15.
Trucking,
Yeah, get back in time. We're over there.
But the rooms are clean.
They're big.
They're big, quiet. I mean,
But we're staying on a
especially-
Tuesday night, so it's not our Monday night or Tuesday night. So we're not there during the peak time. But I mean, we're staying resort fees and everything is less than $100.
Is that with parking too? Because there you do have to pay to park.
$18.
So it's well worth it.
But there we were the second time when we stay that night, we won't even have a car. If we get in
Yeah,
there
we
for the
Uber it.
Uber there and then the Uber to save that, which is about the same price as just a little trade secret. All of our trips to Vegas, which
What?
the whole time even in California, because that was a big thing in California. Everybody went to Vegas. We have probably been in this last year been more in Vegas than we have in the last 50 years.
It seems like every other weekend we're going up to Vegas for something.
Well, we'll fly out of there because that's the closest
Yeah,
airport
but
for
we
us.
fly out of there, and then all the conventions that we've gone to have been up there. I've got a new doctor that's up there. He's going to see a doctor that's up there. So now instead of going to California, depending on what we're going for, that doctor, we go up there. So yeah, it's been there a lot. Probably in the last 3 months, we've probably been there more than we
Last
have in the
50
last
years.
5 years.
Last 50 years.
Been there a lot. Well, and then getting the bike. We had back and forth with the bike and doing all that. Brand new hotel that's being built about 35 miles away from Ohio Bike Week. Charlotte Webb says she's very picky. Charlotte's webbing. I can move in with you all. So fun.
What we always look at is it's like Ohio Bike Week. I always kind of wanted to go to Ohio Bike Week, but now since we're not pulling the trailer, it makes it unfeasible. Because the problem we run into with a lot of these rallies now, we don't have access to a motorcycle. So we're working on Daytona for Biketoberfest. She's got somebody to call. Got one to call. See if they'll give us we can get a bike from. And they just give us the motel room. Be somewhat feasible. But I found out that we would still Southwest does not fly in. Get money back. And we'd have to buy something different. Either go into Orlando and get a car. Take a credit on that. See the same thing. By the time you pay for Uber.
Would you flip that one from there?
No, I booked one. No, I booked it for the end of September because you kept saying Labor Day. We're going to stay there for Labor Day. So I
Memorial
booked
Day.
it the Tuesday after Labor Day. beyond, still waiting to go to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. I have nothing to come home. If we just come home from Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, yes, I can use that flight and just switch it. That waiting for them if they're going to want us to come to Oktoberfest. You should call that other guy. Him and Oktoberfest.
Right. To wrap it up, or I have to. Are you done? Question.
No more questions. What'd you think about the
We're
backdrop?
down to 52. Is that highest?
Not bad, not bad. How long we been on?
2.5 hours.
Holy Jennifer G. Brown. I'm working like the monkey's doing. I'm doing 10 hours.
Not.
What's the longest monkey's ever been on? Anybody ever stay up all the way to the end? I don't know how that guy's at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. He's still going at it. I don't know how. Get more viewers than.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, go, Jeff. I'll look up at my email with one.
And so we appreciate everybody coming on. And Art, if you want to come out, yeah, she said, if you don't get your bike, go get a U-Haul truck. See what a U-Haul, small one with
Yeah,
a
a little
ramp.
one, and just pull it in the back, strap it down, and take it down there. Work on it. Have your bike, and you can ride your bike home.
Get you in the first thing, and well, they're already there. So as soon as you get there Tuesday, they'll dyno it.
Leland Tom says he loves the background. Just one of the walls in the office shop
My collection of
stuff.
stuff that we've gotten, things that we bought, some we
Somebody
made.
wanted to know if you had the other half of that tank. I said, no, it's wall art that we bought from
Oh yeah,
Black Hills Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
They had it was, I don't know if it was before or after
it
the
was
rally.
before the rally.
They had a big thing when you walked in, and it said, all this is 50% off.
Yeah,
We got two. We've got the black one, and we got this
yeah, the
blue
ones
one.
over there. Black one's way over here. So that's just wall art. They're
So
not
it's
real
just a half-
tanks.
yeah, they're not real. But anyway.
I thought it was cool.
Pro
and
Monkey Party House goes on for many, many hours. It gets crazier as the hours go by. I know.
I think it's worth the
We're doing
drinking.
shots. Love you all and see you soon. Thanks, Charlotte's Webbing, for stopping by. So we want to
One
thank
more.
all of you guys for hanging out. We love all
Who's
you
that?
guys. Salty Badger. You could almost hit Chopper Fest and Barbecue. They're only about a week apart.
Let's see, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. What we do there is we're sponsored by the Cat House and also by Pig Trail Harley. So they give us a bike,
Place to
and
stay.
The Cat House sponsors us for a place to stay. So that's how that works out. So that's what happens with some of the rallies we go to. We're not bringing our bike. We're not bringing our trailer. So we don't have
Place to
any
stay.
access. So it's like, here, my bike is still down there. That's what somebody else said. Oh, well, we get to see Tam in Myrtle Beach on her bike. No, we won't be on her bike again until Sturgis. When we take the trailer. I just didn't want to fool with two bikes being moved. And with her, she doesn't ride that much. That's why I'm wondering with Arizona Bike Week. She hasn't been on her bike yet since I got it all done. So she probably won't be on the bike to get to Cave Creek. So at this moment, I'm only thinking she's probably going to ride to Cave Creek, and me and her are going to climb on her little Sportster and do the rest of the ride.
For a little bike. That's a lot of weight. For both of us being on it.
We rode your old first one we did, 2007. So at that, we got to go to Walmart. Grips for a bicycle.
So anyway, and we also want to say a prayer for all those over in Asia, in Taiwan and Mir Norma and Burma, whatever that country is called, because that was horrific.
Your chicken trying to lay an egg.
Uh,
What's the guy that does the rally here?
oh,
He got a bunch of chickens on a rooster, and the city came after him because he didn't have a rooster. And it's throwing.
well, imagine that. If you were here on last week, you heard the rooster story. But anyway, yeah, Myanmar. There you go. Thank you, Neil. Pray for all of those people over there. That was a horrible disaster. I don't know if that's the biggest earthquake that's ever been, 7.7. Called it a super quake, so I don't know. Yeah, prayers for all those people over there, people looking for people, all the people that perished. Yeah, prayers for them. Prayers to all you guys. Thank you very much. We love you all. We thank you for your support and your time with us, and hope to see all of you somewhere along the line at a rally too. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. register for those giveaways. Support our sponsors. Give us a big thumbs up, ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.
And when you're looking to buy something, if you buy something from somebody we recommended, make sure you tell them, hey, I found this out about Bob and Tam. So that way they know how, most of them do know, but just kind of give them that poke again that they realize that people, like we have one
Sometimes they
person
forget.
that's actually going to one of our vendors and spending probably $2,500 from him. And he's giving us money off and on, but he's not a current sponsor at this moment. And so we thought maybe he'd do something again, but what it
See?
is. And we're doing all right for this year. We got plenty of stuff to get us
Sponsorships.
through here. What we got going on, unless something drastically happens to truckers. It seems to be running fine. Got it all washed up today, and it's all cleaned out. We're ready to go. And tomorrow, I'll load all the equipment in. We'll put the hook the
Mike.
trailer up and drag it out to the street. We'll put the bikes in, bicycles in, get everything all loaded up. So Tuesday morning, we'll be jumping on and 220 miles for us to get to
Phoenix.
Cade Creek. And hopefully, and then around 2 or 3 o'clock, we're Westworld and get a tour of that, and then we'll get the video all done, get it up for you guys. I don't have anything for tomorrow yet, so I don't know if we're gonna have a video for Monday. I wanted one.
Then we'll do a little short, loading the bikes up.
I don't know.
3-minute short. How about that?
We'll
All right. Love you all, you guys. See you later. Bye.